What?
in the Discord.
What?
Wait, what?
Multiple dancing horny Eevees.
I don't
Like,
have
the
this
first one
one
was
open
only-
right now. Let me
the first one was
check
only,
that
like,
out.
The first one was only like moderately horny, so then someone replied with a much more horny one.
Uh-huh. Yep, that's Discord.
You mean Eevee the Pokemon?
Eevee the Pokemon.
Oh, John.
It's just like when people found out I liked Jinx from League of Legends, they were like, "Oh, you mean the Pokemon?" It's like, yeah, I'm horny over the fucking Pokemon. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
Wow.
nailed that.
If you're gonna pick one Pokemon, I guess it's not as bad.
I mean, it's the one where they had to change the outfit, change the coloring because of the blackface connotation.
Oh,
That's
right,
not
yeah. Yeah. Goddamn SJW's taking away our blackface.
I am just hypnotized by that Eevee. Holy shit.
I think every game I've played in the last 2 months, if you go to the Steam forums, there's complaining about SJW shit.
Yeah.
It's great. Oh man, I need to fix my
Isn't that?
Streamlabs.
Oh god, that is an Eevee gif. Wow, look at that.
Which channel? I have to see it now.
It's whatevs.
Oh.
It's not that horny. It's just, you know.
Oh, it's actually it's modified from a dance in a hat in time. It's that kind of sway back and forth. Or the horny one is like that. Then the one on top is kind of.
It's mostly innocent.
I know. I looked in Thirst Based first, and then I looked in Pokemon.
I did
So
too.
I looked in the horny channel, and then I looked in the Pokemon one, and I was like, "What the fuck, John? I don't see it."
To surprise no one, I have RPG Maker open up right now, and I'm
Excellent.
doing things at the same time. So if you hear any clicking, I'm sorry. I mean, I'll stop during the actual podcast. Maybe. Check out.
Oh, I think I'm a founder now too, but I'm not in chat. Let me go check.
Ooh, yeah, that was a mistake. I gotta fix that now.
Oh, I'm so content. Oh, goodness.
Mm.
It's a good... Just what I wanted. I played Fata Morgana like right up to the podcast, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Oh,
Made my race.
that's a man. You're hitting all the good vibes.
that is also in my backlog. I grabbed the PS4 physical copy.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty good.
I that's a game I do need to get to.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Thank
We'll
you
talk about
for the 200 bits, Tingu Gemini. Much appreciated.
Early this morning, I was just like, I might be able to finish it before the podcast, and then I fell asleep for a 2-hour nap, and I was like, well, I'm free. I don't have to stress about trying to finish it. That's good.
Yeah, that's not the game that you're
To
gonna
rush.
Yeah, like I'll just say that there's still a hefty bit more left.
Yeah,
That game took me like 30 hours. So.
Yeah, I kind of figured. Hoping if I just play a bunch tonight and then a bunch Monday, I'll be good. Because Tuesday and Wednesday I'm doing stuff. If I could shake out a little poorly there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, gotta take a break now. Okay. Just wait 3 days. It's fine.
Yeah.
It sucks getting stalled like in places like that. Like getting ready to do a fucking podcast and I have to stop playing this interesting video game. It's way more interesting than this podcast with boring people that I host.
I much rather would be doing this podcast than playing any video game.
There we go.
If I had Cold Steel 3 right now, that would not be the case.
Holly, that's next
enough.
week.
When does that come out?
It comes out in 9 days.
Yeah, it's next week.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
That's
So,
going to be a rabbit
We're not
hole.
doing a podcast on the 27th. You're going to be playing Cold Steel 3.
Maybe. It just depends on how much I get to play it throughout the week because my weeks are very busy for October and November. So if I want to spend the entire weekend just playing Cold Steel 3, or the weekend of the 27th, then that's what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm. If I was so deep in it that I would resent being on the podcast, I probably wouldn't have taken a 2-hour nap and then did other shit for 3 hours.
Oh, right. All
right.
Okay.
I played it for 45 minutes leading right up to the podcast.
All right, Tom, I was going to tell you to mute yourself for the first bit, but don't worry about it. Everybody knows you're here.
Oh, right. I mean, I can...
We'll tell you to leave when you need to leave.
Okay.
That's our general policy.
I'll just be quiet.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. You can participate.
You're
allowed to participate.
Talk as much as you want until we tell you to get the fuck out. And then
go.
do.
That's how this works.
Promptly.
Yes, very promptly. Like, don't dilly-dally on that shit. Don't make me have to block you to get you out of my Skype call.
Mm-hmm.
I will get out of your Skype call when you tell me to get the fuck out.
All right. Whoa. Tom throwing out the F-bombs now. Holy crap. I ain't used to that. Pure Christian boy over here.
Whoa, can't say that in a JRPG.
No. Absolutely not. Never played an RPG that had language like that.
I mean, I can put the word bastard in there, but I can't put the word fuck. What are you
No! He said it again! I remember a time when John was the pure boy that wouldn't swear.
God, that's so weird.
Yeah, you were.
Tom's older than me, though, right?
Yeah,
pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm older than you, John. I know that.
Is there anybody not older than John?
Quite a few people now.
Yeah, like I think that's a typical thing, Rhett. Is like if you meet somebody and you're older than them, it turns out you actually stay older than them.
You're still 17 though, Polly. So
that's a good point.
I mean, we work differently.
We do. Well, I operate on different.
And John is still 12.
Yes. Yeah.
That checks out.
Welcome everyone to Sockscast episode 103, brought to you as always by Moon Pies. Moon Pies, spread your lips. How's it going, everybody? Welcome.
Hi.
Out there in internet land. Ready for a good one today. It's going to be hype. It's going to be good. It's going to be high energy, despite the fact that I have no energy. But we come out here every couple of weeks.
Bring the energy to you.
There you go. There you go. You give me the energy. Let it flow into me for just a little bit. At least, get me up above the E. Get me up above the E, and
all
I'm sure
energy flowing into Polly.
All of it. All of Rhett's.
It made a sound.
Rhett's big dick energy flowing into me. It's almost like 19 years worth of glop flowed into me.
God damn it.
To my immediate virtual right, he has once been on record and quoted as saying, for some reason, cat girls are such a thing you can be like, big titty kitty, but as soon as you're like, doggo knockers, you feel like a weirdo. It's right.
I'm saying cat girls are better than dog girls, sorry.
I'm okay with both. But as soon as you said that, it was like, well, I know what I'm gonna say it on the podcast because it's funny.
You planned one of these for once.
I planned one of these for once. Yeah, like doggo knockers. That's such a good. That's such a good pair of words. Doggo knockers. Like
it's real bad. But people say kitty titties unironically. That's what I'm saying.
I know. So like doggo knockers is great.
There's just no way to do that.
I would name a band Doggo Knockers.
No one would get it.
No one would, but it'd be great. It rolls off the tongue real well. Them Doggo Knockers do.
I feel like if we wanted to be more inclusive of our guest, we could just bring up elf girl titties.
There you go. He's more into legs, though.
Spread elf legs.
Spread elf legs the day after tomorrow, everybody. To my immediate virtual left, nice story. Tell it to Reader's Digest. It's John Thayer.
Hi.
How's it going?
I'm doing very well. I'm having a relaxed weekend.
Really?
I've had a very dense week, so I've been just doing all my favorite things for myself. I'm having a good time.
We know what that means.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
It means hot bubble baths with tea.
Mm-hmm. And his gigantic pool.
No.
Rich white Republican over here represent.
Candlelit bubble baths. It's very nice. Very hot.
With his cell phone in hand.
Don't do that anymore. Bubble baths are just chill out time.
They are.
I disconnect.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's a good place to disconnect.
I know. I took a walk in the park by the lake the other day, and it's cold now. It's 45 degrees.
Yeah, it was actually kind of cold when I woke up this morning. I was like, oh no, it's back that time of year that I hate. Fantastic.
Yeah. I didn't understand how awful it was until I moved here, and now I hate it so much. It makes my life worse.
It's going to get way worse for you way quicker than it is for me, but it's still going to be bad. It's going to suck.
Yeah.
Because there's like a big old...
You have my sympathies.
There's a big old cold front coming in, too, that's going to be ridiculous, so...
Remember when y'all would post temperatures and I'd be like, here's my Florida temperature?
Yeah, like that's Poncho's job now.
87, I'm freezing.
That's Poncho's job now, and Poncho always has to mention his butt sweat when he does it. He's like, oh man, everybody's talking about these temperatures. And by the way, my butt is sweating, everybody. I got a big old wet crack right down here in Florida. Wet Cracks in Florida is the name of Poncho's band, by the way. So, there's that. There's that. We have a guest that's going to be on until we tell him to get the fuck off.
Who's that?
Oh, it's I don't have an introduction for him because he's not important enough for one. I just don't feel like it.
Aww, well that's okay.
It's Jetstorm 4. It's our good pal Tom. Hey you. Hey. Been a while since you've been on one of these.
It's been a while. I sent a recording in for the 100, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I think that's the last time you've heard from me.
The time you were on before that was our longest episode ever. Before we did the Undertale podcast, and that was the Majora's Mask episode, which was real early in the podcast run.
That was a long episode. That was a long time ago now.
That was 2014. That was 5 years ago.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That was longer than it takes to beat that game.
It's about as long as it took you to beat Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
Oh, God.
So how you doing, Tom? Are you ready to be here for a portion of a podcast?
I am ready to be here for a portion of a podcast. I was trying to come up with something else, but I can't. My brain's not working right now.
I hear you. Who needs brains, right? Who needs to be able to think? Nobody needs to be witty. It's just a podcast. Everybody, you do these, you record them, you turn on a microphone, you say some words, you shit it out. People download it.
The magic happens.
Exactly.
The sponsorships come.
Exactly. Just like those moon pies.
Like moon pies.
Exactly.
Moon pies, they come.
They come. Moon pies. Spread your crack.
I
had to stop laughing when you said spread your lips, okay? I had to stop. I had to stop myself.
That was a very good one.
Well, I mean, what? You have to open your mouth to eat a moon pie? Come on, what else could I possibly have meant by that? There's nothing else that has lips that you can spread that would lead to a moist opening.
You really shouldn't put, just as a clarification for everyone, you really shouldn't put a moon pie in a vagina.
No,
that
don't
will
do that.
Absolutely cause yeast infection.
I don't recommend it.
That would be a yeast infection.
Polly, so what is that like?
I'm done!
That was a quick one. 8 minutes.
Oh, all right.
Thanks for coming out, everybody.
Y'all.
Great. Oh, but no, we got Tom here because Tom's gonna be here to talk about.
I think we broke Polly.
No, somebody.
Colin really timed that sub nicely.
Somebody timed a sub really well.
Yep.
All right, we good? No. We're good. Couple. All right, let's give it a second.
Deep breaths.
I'm sorry.
All right.
What is this, the
That's a
ASMR
haunting
podcast
sound.
now?
That's a lot.
So the reason our pal Tom is here with us. He's gonna talk about a few things. We got and we're gonna start with me because I'm the most important part of this podcast. It wouldn't exist without me, so I think I deserve to. I think I deserve to be the face in the front of the podcast for one.
Sort of the center of the podcast, the community. It's all in orbit. Makes perfect sense.
Exactly. If I wasn't here, none of you would be.
That's true.
That's right.
You don't flex about that very often.
No,
you
I don't.
Two more.
Yeah, like I could flex about that a hell of a lot more, but I'm modest. What can I say? I'm pretty awesome.
That's really your only fault. Is just how.
Yeah, it's just how fucking modest I am.
Humble,
yeah,
I feel like it's something I share. Really, it's one of the connections between
us. Absolutely. So I finished a very wonderful video game a few weeks ago, and I know that I've not shut up about it since I finished it, which probably says a lot about the impression that it made. We finished I, the Somnium Files on stream a few weeks ago. A few of us took that journey together, I know, and a lot of people were here for that, and it was amazing! I, the Somnium Files is, of course, Kotaro Uchikoshi's newest work. It is a video game where you were a detective solving mysteries. And then,
who's Uchikoshi?
Who's Kotaro Uchikoshi? Well, he is the lead writer for a lot of really great visual novel content, including the Ever 17 / Infinity series, Zero Escape. You might know those games. We've talked about them quite a few times on this podcast before. And this
have any of us done Ever 17 yet?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I think not.
I know Lyranet has played it.
Okay.
Because when I was playing I, the Somnium Files on stream, he was like, "Hey, this reminds me a lot of Ever 17." And I was like, "Well, I got some news for you." Same writer. But yeah, like it's a detective visual novel fun thing where you dive into the dreams of people, and it's a great way to kind of explore that space of interrogating people and getting to the bottom of a very intense murder mystery that has lots and lots and lots of layers. So I talked about it the last time in depth, and let's get some of our good pal Tom's. Let's let him lead the discussion on this one this time, because I led it last time, and I think we covered a good bit, but I kind of want another perspective, given that game is all about seeing things from perspectives. What are your thoughts on I, the Somnium Files?
So, I, the Somnium Files, the best way I can sort of describe my feelings on it is that this is the exact video game I've wanted out of Snatcher. You know what? Absolutely. It hits those vibes, and I think it delivers in ways that, like, 2064 Read-Only Memories tried to, and I don't think that it nailed it. And I feel that this game kind of hit all of that stuff that Snatcher did, but better. Yeah, I haven't played Read Only Memories yet, but I think I get that feeling as well out of that, from that and out of from out of Snatcher as well. The relationship between Aiba and Date, is just it's Metal and Gillian.
Like how
straight up,
it's pretty. It's so well written, and the chemistry between the actors is crazy, given that they all recorded at different times. But everybody genuinely sounds like they're on the same page, which you got to have a great director to pull that off.
Right.
And you can't you can't just pull a relationship like Date and Aiba's out of the ether and make it work, because when you start that game, there's already the air of familiarity in there that they have to find a way to get the player in on.
Right.
So, like, these characters, they've known each other for 4 years already. And that's a thing with a lot of the characters in this game, is that it's really good at showing you these very deep and layered relationships that are already established, that they have to find a way to let you in on and make you feel like a part of it. And every single one of them nails it.
I think a lot of it, too, is not just by the dialogue, it's the Somniums themselves.
Yes, you learn
the Somniums, all the puzzles in the most of the puzzles in the Somniums are based on things that you learn through through different dialogue, whether they be from one route or another route or right before. A lot of them are based on how that character feels about a specific situation, and you having to solve that puzzle in the Somniums. I think that's it was a very clever way to deliver character, just backstory, interactions, and how that character's feeling about specific moments through their dreams.
Yes.
I think that was a very interesting take on that whole thing. I absolutely love it. This kind of game is I love point and click adventure games. And this game is, it's a visual novel, but still has a little bit of that point and click adventure stuff. Although it's a visual novel without an inventory. So.
Yeah, well, we've got to just dock it like 8 or 9 points there.
I know, 8 or 9 points without the inventory, but nonetheless, there's a lot. Like I said, like my whole time playing through, I was like, "This is exactly what I want out of like a Snatcher follow-up or something like that." And I know, and even then, like other Sega CD adventure games like Rise of the Dragon, things like that. Like Snatcher is kind of it's kind of an exception to the rule from that time because it's a very well-directed English localization.
Yes,
like it's really good.
Surprisingly, like for that era anyway. Like you don't see that kind of care put toward localization back then.
And this game now, obviously, direction, localization, English translation has gotten better. Obviously, this was probably written at the same. No, the English version was written at the same time as the Japanese version, I believe.
Yeah,
they came out very similar. Time.
Yeah, they were written in tandem, I believe, and then the other localizations for like Chinese and etc. were handled after the fact.
Okay. But yeah, all of the gameplay, all of the story elements, everything just came together for this game for me, and I absolutely love it. It's a mix that I don't think can be replicated very often.
It's a game whose tone could easily be sabotaged if a careful writer was not handling it, because this game straddles comedy and drama in a way that no game I have played has done better. Because there are moments, like, you can watch my stream at any moment and find me literally dying, laughing out loud at the absurd things that this game is doing. And then, 30 minutes later, I've got to mute the goddamn stream on my end because I'm probably bawling my eyes out.
Because you're crying, yeah.
Yeah, it's...
I went back through some of your streams after I played through it, and there were I definitely noticed that.
There's just like, and it's just like, it always hits those extremes, but it doesn't ever feel like it's too lopsided. Like, all of these characters, you take them seriously, and you care about them, but there's also this, go ahead and laugh at them. Date's kind of an idiot, but that's why he's charming. Laugh at Moma. He's an idiot, but he's a good boy.
He's a good boy. Moma's a good boy.
Moma's a good boy. And it's just, there are so many characters like that where they have a very weird, like, off-kilter, non-sequitur side to them that could easily just be sabotage in any other game. In any other game where tone is very important. And somehow they've deftly managed to hold this game's tone together and make every point land as it should.
That's really important.
I've definitely seen some people also not like the game's tone as well. I've seen the opinion as well that this game is too, it does not take itself seriously at all, and it's terrible for that.
But it's too straightforward or something. Yeah, like, I've seen it criticized as Uchikoshi's weakest work because it's the most straightforward, and it's the easiest of his works to kind of, like, not reach the end and be like, well, oh man, my head's too big right now and I need to go lay down and have a think about all that. Whereas this game, you get a nice big catharsis at the end. Everything makes sense. Yeah. Everything's wrapped up. And you get an amazing ending sequence that is beyond fucking words.
We can't... I don't think we can describe it.
Nobody say a word. It's so good, though. It's when it happens, I literally, at fucking 1:30 in the morning, I was dying and falling out of my chair at how good it was.
Oh, man. That ending sequence, oh, man.
It's so good. And to your point about it being a point-and-click adventure game, if you're playing this or you haven't played it yet or you're going to, click on everything every time you go to an area. Every time. Even if you're returning to an area, click on everything. Because this is a game that is hidden jokes, random non sequitur bullshit, you name it, all over the place. And
going back to your streams, there's stuff I missed. And there's even some stuff that was different as well. Like the joke, I'll mention one joke that you kept getting about Date forgetting the investigator's name. That was not mine.
Really?
He remembered his name every time for me.
Oh, weird.
I don't know what triggered that, but it's probably something like the Mizuki. It's probably something like the Mizuki thing, where you say what food you're gonna get.
Yeah, and then she'll remember that through the rest of the game.
I said stew for mine.
And then she wanted stew later.
Yeah, she wanted stew for the whole time.
Oh, that's like little touches like that are neat.
There's so many little things too. Like that one was like. The Mizuki one I expected, but the investigator one I did not expect.
Yeah,
like
that
was.
And I've watched a few other streams, and I've noticed that they got different jokes as well. So I think that there may actually be a hint of randomness to the way some jokes appear. Like whether like maybe like certain sections have 2 or 3 different jokes that it can select from, and maybe you just get different ones, because I've seen people play different parts of the game
they could be triggered by how many times say you do things in that intro section.
That as well, yeah. But it's just the fact that I've watched it and I'm still seeing new things that I missed. And I played this game for like 31 hours, so I tried to look at everything, and I still I'm still missing like 2 journal entries.
Yeah, this is definitely something I would go back. Like, this is a game definitely is one I'd go back to.
Yeah, I can definitely see myself enjoying this game again, like I would going back and revisiting a movie, just because it's a lighter kind of game. Like Zero Escape games are a little harder to kind of do that with, because those games are a lot heavier. Whereas this is much more movie-like.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite of the games I've played from Uchikochi personally. Maybe because of that tone, maybe how light it is.
Yeah,
and how I can see myself definitely going back to it, enjoying it again, and like fully enjoying it again. Whereas like a Zero Escape, it's gonna take. I have to be in the right mood for that, like to revisit it, because I know what's gonna happen. And granted, I'll probably revisit Zero Escape at some point, but it's a little harder to do so.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's kind of like I revisit Snatcher every couple of years. I revisit D every couple of years. So I would definitely put I in the same category as those games.
Yeah. I was watching Karina Boddicker, who voiced Mizuki. She's been playing the game too, and like watching a voice actor kind of see their scenes in context is real interesting, because she got to certain points and certain routes, and like things that would like. She was like, I know I said that, but the way they directed it and the way that it lands there, and she's almost fucking crying on stream because of how well it all came together. Like, it's like things like that. It's just really cool. And like, man, this game, for me personally, this game is really special again because of the way I chose to consume it this time. Like I said last time, I tend to devour these games by myself. Alone in a dark room, or chilling out in bed with the case of the Zero Escape games, which I played on the DS and 3DS.
They were, those were handheld games at the time. So,
and for this one, for whatever reason, I was just like, let's just stream it. And I got a wild hair up my ass and decided to do it. And it turned out to be like, I think having people along for the ride really amplified that experience for me, because
I think for a lot of people who may not play this type of game. For sure. I think they, from what I was looking at your chats and everything, they seemed like they were enjoying themselves a lot.
Yeah.
Just kind of watching your experience through it, and then they also having that same experience. And this is the type of game that it's a lot like a movie. It's good to watch.
Yeah,
this is a very fun thing to do. It's a very fun thing to do, is to watch these adventure games. That's the reason I like them too. So.
Yeah, like I have watched plenty of people, play through the climax of games like Danganronpa and Zero Escape, just because those you gotta love seeing like somebody's reaction to those moments when you already have that knowledge. Like that's always fun for me. But yeah,
like watching After 5 deal with Trails in the Sky.
Like, oh fun. Man, yeah, watching After 5 doing the Trails in the Sky / Cold Steel / throwing the headphones off, saying "fuck it, I'm done."
Wait,
Watching
what?
Rhett finish FC.
Yeah, we watched Rhett finish the first chapter, which was great.
God.
Yeah, after 5 got to a point. Got to a real big point in Cold Steel 2, where he had been streaming probably about 10 hours by that point. But then a big story beat happened that was just completely, fuck off. And he just, headphones off, walks completely out of the room.
He had to walk out of the room. That was good.
He's just done. But yeah, the Somnium Files, I think that's a really special game. It probably is. Like when the dust settles, I think it probably is going to be what I consider Uchikoshi's finest work, just because of how put together and consistent it is. And it's smart and clever in ways that you just don't see video games do much these days.
Yeah.
And I know that 7 or 8 people bought this game as well, just from watching my stream, so that's awesome too.
I was already going to get it, but I was going to hold off for a little bit. But watching your streams, I was like, nope, I'm getting it.
I've got to experience this thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I tossed it at after I finished it, a couple days later, I tossed it at my brother, told him, you play this now. I did the same thing with 999 for him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Then
he bought VLR and ZTD on his own.
Nice.
Those, so. So I told him to do that, and then he gave me an update of where he is right now, and he's on that route.
Oh.
As his first route.
The A route.
That route.
Yeah, that's just what I call that one. I just call it the A route.
The A route. Yeah, he's on that one as his first, and then he hit the lock. So.
Oh man. But yeah.
That was my third route.
Oh yeah, that was mine as well. So I hit that route way late, and I think that it landed way better for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's gonna be that's the kind of fun of Uchikoshi's games, though, is the route you take the first time is really gonna influence how the later routes hit you, because you're collecting different information each time. And
I did something when I was watching your playthroughs. I did something similar to yours, but I went the opposite direction. I went on the right first, but then I did the opposite of what you did.
Oh, okay.
First.
Okay, I see.
So, just to give you kind of maybe my perspective on it is on that. And then I went back and did the opposite, what you were doing first.
I see. Gotcha.
So.
Yeah. The Somnium Files is great, everybody.
It's fantastic.
If we don't curtail the discussion now, it's going to end up being all right. This has to be a spoiler cast. Let's just talk about it.
Let's not. I think we're good at this point. Not spoiling anything right now, but definitely go play this.
Yeah, this.
If you're into adventure games, if you've ever played Snatcher, and I recommend you do if you still. I like Snatcher.
Snatcher's good.
If you're into that kind of game, I is definitely up your alley.
Yeah.
Basically, if you liked D, you should go play I, the Somnium Files. That's what you said earlier,
if you like,
right?
I mean, I would put it in the same category as me revisiting D or Snatcher. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean that sweary game, Dark Dreams Don't Die, right?
That's the fourth one.
Yeah, it's D4.
No, that's D4. That's actually not even a thing.
I know.
All right, we're gonna put that on the back of the box.
But the funny thing is,
if you like D, play I, the Somnium Files.
But the thing is about D4 is that looking at it now, I kind of get a lot of I vibes, so I might actually pick that up at some point.
I haven't played D4 at all, and I don't have a way to play it really, so. I don't think
I think it's on PC now.
It's on Steam now. It goes on sale for real cheap because it's not finished either.
Oh,
remember they made 2 episodes and then lost.
All right, never mind. I'm not gonna buy that.
Well, it's what's there is good. It's just it's kind of gonna blue ball you at the end probably.
Oh no!
I don't want that.
Yeah,
I like sweary, but I don't want to buy an unfinished game and get blue balled on an ending.
Instead, go play D. I believe that is on Steam now.
I think it is. Yeah, D's pretty good. D's pretty good. I like D.
Okay, yeah, no, D is also on Steam and good old games. So yeah.
There you go. Thank you, listening.
I like what you all said about the tone, because I know that's definitely something a lot of people bounce off, is when something manages to pretty deftly weave together that level of humor with big drama. Mm-hmm. And I love that. That's my favorite thing, basically.
I mean, I think Danganronpa is pretty dark humor.
Mm-hmm. Danganronpa definitely has that kind of levity. I think that the way I I presents it in a more grounded manner, I think. Even though, like, it's a really absurd fucking game. Like, there are so many absurd things happen in this game where you just kind of have to look at it and say, that's this world. And they've already convinced you of that. Like, it's not weird that the 12-year-old child is bench pressing 220 pounds. It's not weird.
She's good.
It might be weird when you first see it, but then you're just like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
The machine gun bit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Man, there's so many good bits in this game. Even just mentioning one fucking bit like that is it's not enough to like ruin anything in this game because this game has bits for days.
Hey, Polly.
Yeah.
Porno mag.
Porno mag.
Oh,
there's Porno mag. It's great.
It's something I just
limited edition. All right. We're gonna move past I now because
let's move past I. It's okay.
We're gonna start spoiling bits. What else do you want to talk about, Tom?
Well, you said I could talk about my my little project I've been working on.
Let's do it. Let's talk about your project.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm not sure what exactly I want to talk about, though. To be honest, kind of through the set, I saw your message about an hour ago on that, so I'm not sure exactly what I want to talk about on it either. But I'll give a little bit of a kind of a preamble what I've been working on for the. I've been working on a game for the past 2 years. I'd say it's been a journey. It's been a ride. Actually, it's a little bit longer because I don't know if I want to talk about where this game kind of comes from yet, and kind of how it came to be.
Mm-hmm.
But just say it comes from a long, torturous process of me trying to start up a JRPG, basically an RPG maker, and seeing if I can make something like that. As it turns out, you can.
Oh wow! You mean you can use an RPG maker to make RPGs?
I was shocked, actually.
That's stunning. I thought that I thought it was just to make tech demos and then never make games.
See, that's what I thought, is that you just dick around for a little bit and then give up.
Right.
Like, that's what it's... Right?
Right, exactly. That's what I thought, too. But apparently, no, you can make RPGs in RPG Maker and make them pretty good.
Wow.
I know. It's shocking.
Mm-hmm.
So, the main thing I can say from this is this has been sort of a learning experience of project management, organizing a project, and actually telling myself I can do it.
With the follow-through, of course.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And following through with it. Again, I'd say I bit off more than I can chew with it, but then again, I don't think so either, because once I started going at it, it started putting itself together pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
But, start everything down with paper, start working things out. I actually removed things at one point, and then I had to put them back in because I needed them still.
Right.
Interesting. That's always a good feeling when you build something. For me, that's a good feeling when you build something you're like, no, this doesn't work actually, and take it out, and then, or maybe you retool it later.
Right, and like, oh no, I forgot that. Oh no, I realized that was perfect for pacing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not quite because with an RPG, you've got to deal with, of course, story pace, but you also have to deal with gameplay pace. As well. How good does it feel to level? How good does it feel to get new abilities as you just level up? Because
how angry is death going to make the player?
Right.
That's a really important one.
There's a lot of things I kind of decided at the beginning of me making this. Saving anywhere, that was a thing that I said absolutely has to happen. And we're gonna do 5 party members.
That system only does 4 though.
So that's what there you go. I have to give some special thanks to a particular plugin creator named Yanfly. Yanfly, who is, oh my god. An
amazing wizard when it comes to RPG Maker custom scripting.
I don't know. How do they do it?
The stuff that they come up with is incredible. And it's all just one big package that you can kind of mix and match what you want.
You can mix and match what you want.
Cool.
You can get the base. You can get the base stuff if you want to, or you don't even have to. There's a couple And there's a couple different things that you may not think like you might need, but then it's like, oh, wait a minute, this is perfect for implementing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say, some things that RPG Maker MV doesn't do very well is passive states, where, like setting up passive states for, like, if you have, like, a piece of equipment that causes a state to happen, say, like a ring that causes berserk. Like a berserk status. That's a thing. That's actually a plugin for the Yanfly has made.
Yeah,
to do like passive states on equipment like that.
And then you can just like put the little bit of code in the note field of the equipment.
Right,
I
just
believe.
Requires you to, it's just a note tag stating what attribute you want to apply to that. And also what conditions you want that to be too.
Yeah, it's real. It really gives you a lot more, a bigger and more robust engine to work with the on-fly stuff.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. So props to Yanfly doing just amazing work still. They have a Patreon. There you go.
There you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hell
I would say they're worth supporting.
Yeah. There's an artist also named Cossacks who does RPG Maker monsters. I'm actually using their monsters as well too. From there, because kind of my thing was also I don't want to make this too much work for me in making monsters. I want to make something and get it out there. I don't want to be stuck making resources over and over again. I'm not the best artist when it comes to digital art, so I can handle pixels and edit things as I need to, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So that's sort of that's what I've been doing.
Those were the ways you manage scope. Is that this is a big RPG, like a 10-hour RPG, right?
This has been clocking at 15 hours every time I test.
You are 3 Undertales long.
Yeah.
And he managed scope and made it so you can make it good by mostly using RTP art, the built-in art that comes with RPG Maker.
Yep, I've been using RTP art. I've only done a couple animations for battle and for cutscenes. I've changed a couple colors actually. That's about it.
There you go. That's all you need to do.
For what I need.
What about music?
Hey, for music, that's a little bit different. I'm using a mixture of RTP and other sources that I found. I'm actually using music that Hiroyuki Kikuta put out for RPG Maker use.
Oh, cool!
That's really cool.
I can say I have Hiroyuki Kikuta music in here. My boss theme is actually by Hiroyuki Kikuta.
That's really cool.
Who's that again?
That's the Secret of Mana composer.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of where my brain went. I think I heard that name again because of Indivisible.
Okay, I think he did Indivisible as well.
Yeah.
Probably we'll talk about that. Sure.
This is so cool, dude. I'm really excited to play this game.
I am too. I thought I was a beta tester, but I guess I'm not. Your best friend
Polly.
ever. Your best friend, Polly.
I have a very specific person that I use to test games, and he is currently working on it.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
I know you are. I know you are.
I'm very eager to play it though.
I'm still doing a couple things. There's actually some things I noticed when I was testing it today. I was like, oh shoot, I forgot about some things. And oh wait, those people still have default dialogue.
Well, yeah, I noticed that. That was real good. This is default text.
I have. Yeah, I you got to do it sometime. That's how you manage it. And that's how I know I made a mistake.
Just give him an empty text box. Just word search default and just delete it.
There you go.
That's what Super Neptunia RPG did.
Pretty much.
Ouch. But overall, I guess that's all I really want to talk about now. I guess, but it is a full-on RPG.
There's a world map. There's a story. Are there crystals?
There is a world map. There is a crystal.
Oh,
are there 4 elemental-themed bosses?
There are 5. There are actually 5 elemental-themed dragons.
Yes.
Actually 7 if you do the secret bosses.
They're dragons! Of course they're dragons!
What? Wait, what?
Sorry. Oh, I just thought secret bosses is pretty good too.
Yeah.
There are some hidden there's actually more than the 15-hour content is like the main story stuff.
It's got like 9 hours of epilogue like Lunar 2.
Adding the extra stuff is about 17 hours actually.
There you go. It's a nice beefy Chrono Trigger.
Basically.
It is a beefy game, and I've played it multiple times.
I can't imagine having to test something like this.
So that's actually something else as well. I guess I'll talk about for testing long RPGs and just the things I've kind of found to make this easier.
Mm-hmm.
First off, base RPG Maker has 20 save files. Use them.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's very important. But the other thing I recommend doing too is making yourself a map that's just for debugging.
Yeah.
And setting up a way to get to that debug map from like a spell in the game, like making a spell that says debug.
Yep.
That'll take you to that map, and then have a way to get you back to the same place you use debug from that map, and then turning on and off various things, like turning off random encounters, turning off, giving yourself some more money if you need it for some odd reason. Setting up different warp points that'll take you to different story points in the game.
Smart.
Because the other thing too, also, you can set up a variable to count where your game should be. If you're making a story form game like this, you want to have a variable that keeps how far into the game you are.
Yeah.
Like,
what about you just use a bunch of undocumented switches and variables just as a clusterfuck, and you don't really care about it or organize it at all, and then you just
could do that, and
then you suffer.
Yeah, you could suffer. The thing is, though, too, is that if you do this like this, you can make a long RPG.
Fair enough.
You organize it.
This has definitely given me flashbacks to making Hunters, which was a game that took 3 years and did the same thing of having like this one variable that was like, you are 10 steps into the game.
Counting when a cutscene should happen.
Yeah.
And knowing that too. And there's some things that I'm like, I could have definitely done better. I probably could have used more common events for some things.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely some, like, even in mine, there's repeated code of gathering party members and then bringing them back. Yeah,
like that is something.
Typical, you have the line of party members.
That's something you want to macro, like on a common event.
Yeah, you can
macro.
Or you just copy paste the events over and over again.
You can do that too. There's some other event triggers I probably could have done as well too. And then I do have some switches pulling double duty on like some for like cutscene events and show if I need to show like an object. I actually have the same switch
just
handling all of that. It's like show. I think one is actually called show computer screen.
There you go. Easy.
Which shows computer screens, and if you figure out this is a fantasy RPG, and I just said that.
Yeah, I was just thinking that's not fantasy.
Did I just say that?
They didn't have computers. They didn't have computers and have to wipe your hand with your butt land.
I think Tom might be ripping off Might and Magic.
I could either be ripping off Might and Magic, or I could be ripping off Phantasy Star.
We'll see. Yeah.
Or I could be ripping off Lunar, which, oh, by the way, I'm probably ripping off Lunar.
Hey, Lunar is a pretty good thing to kind of riff off of, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good base. It's a good starting base to do, and there you go.
Tom played Lunar, and he was just like, ugh, I could do this so much better myself.
No, actually, I was like, I cannot do this better, but you know what? I'm going to try.
I can't do this better, but I can do one of these.
Exactly, and sometimes you just have to have enough hubris to say that.
Exactly.
He played Lunar on the DS and said, I can do this better.
I can at least do better than that.
I will say that definitely Silas, which is the name of the game, by the way, is better than Lunar Dragon Song.
There you go.
Me playing it.
Put that on the back of the box.
Put it in the back of the box. It might even be better than Lunar
Legend.
But
Legend is pretty bad.
Is that the Game Boy Color
That's
game?
the Game Boy Adventure, or the Game Boy Advance version.
Okay.
It's the Game Boy Adventure.
Game Boy Adventure, exactly.
How's the
Game Boy? Yeah, that's the Game Boy Advance Lunar 1 version.
I know. I'm asking you for your opinion on the Game Boy Color game. Tell me.
There's a Lunar Game Boy Color game?
I don't know that there is a Game Boy Color.
I think I'm mixing it up with something.
There's a Lufia Game Boy Color game.
That's what I was thinking.
There's Lunar Magic School on the
I was thinking
Game
Lufia.
Gear.
That's a Game Gear game.
But that's
Lufia and
That's a
Luna
Game
are
Gear.
basically the same thing, right?
No.
Lufia has puzzles and they make me mad because a lot of them are block of the block variety.
Oh, does this game have puzzles?
All right, Polly, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize to you now.
Yeah, no, you just gotta put in a
about the block
put in a
puzzle
poly
stylus.
button. You just put in a poly button, and it skips you to the end of the puzzle. Just like the beginner's guide. You don't even have to do it.
I will say this. They are not hard.
Oh, so it's not riffing on crosscode.
I have painstakingly made sure that they are not hard.
These are polyproof.
I hope they're poly.
You would think, you know, Tom, I've made block
think
puzzles that I thought were polyproof.
Oh god.
They were not polyproof.
Which
game,
one?
John?
Which one?
Fortunately,
I know you got
can
frustrated
leave.
with this. I know you got frustrated with Spider game. I think you got frustrated with the Witch game.
No, the witch game was easy because you could just poke at it and eventually get it. You could just you could just slam the keyboard and get that one. That's what I did.
No, I meant the block puzzle in the Witch game.
Yeah, I know. The block
Okay.
puzzle in the witch game. I just got to a point where I was just like, okay, arrow keys, do your thing, and I just kept smashing them. Guys, I'm dumb, okay?
yeah, it's fine.
Well, the spider one was where you got frustrated for like 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, the spider one got me angry for a couple minutes.
Yeah. I still think the Top Witch's Tower is my favorite John game, so
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Thank you.
that's probably my favorite one.
Thank you. It's one of my many genre defying iconoclastic games.
Exactly.
I did.
Frog Adventure might be second.
The Museum of ZZT did a really nice close read thing, let's play of it.
Yeah,
And
it was really good.
They had some very nice praise for me that made me feel very self-important. It was very nice.
More so than
I'm gonna
that's all
link that.
good.
I'm gonna link that in the chat.
I made a D riff. It's called Moon.
Oh, yeah. Moon is really good! You should all
I
go
heard that's
play Moon.
selling- heard that's selling
Yeah, you
really
should
well.
also
in the
play
shop
Moon.
right now.
I replayed Moon this week.
Mhm.
You know, I pulled it out. Like, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna replay Moon for a little bit. No, Moon's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good video game. Good
Like I know the person
video
who made
game.
it.
Yeah.
There we go. Link sent.
So when can we expect Silas? Are we looking
Yeah.
at early next year?
I'm actually looking at earlier than that, maybe.
Maybe?
Yes.
Maybe?
Okay. If I know anything about game dev, that means you're actually looking at early next year.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at early next year, but we'll see.
But you will shoot for this year.
I'm shooting for this year. I'm trying to make this current playthrough I'm doing of it my last playthrough of it.
Oh, so
So
now we're
that's-
definitely getting into close to being
In-game.
done territory.
Yeah.
So can you?
I'm definitely getting close, but there's still things I've noticed, like, oh shoot, I have to correct that map. I fixed that. I have to correct that cutscene map because its new map is
Yeah.
different.
The last 5% is a lot.
Yeah, this is the hard part right here. But I've already finalized I've already done like some final text stuff. I need to put some dialogue in. I'm considering if there's any more writing I actually need to do.
Just have
Might be-
Polly do
Default
it.
text.
It might be texts of like books on shelves. That's about it.
Just have your Indiegogo backers write like all the incidental
Right.
text.
Yeah, and have it all be inside jokes that nobody playing the game will actually get.
Shovel
Right.
Knight was here.
Shovel Knight. Oh,
It's just a
I'm not a
graffiti.
real indie game until I put Shovel Knight in my game, huh?
Here you go. Here's what I'll do. If you need books, I'll write you a series that's that is a long form retelling of Poly Dungeon.
You know what?
Yeah.
That just sounds great.
I'll talk to you later about that.
All right.
Actually,
Put one in each town, just like the chests and trails.
my problem is Poly. I already have kind of a Poly Dungeon riff in the game.
Oh, right. That's cool. That's fine.
I do have that in there, but that might also be something. I'll talk to you later.
We could talk. Look, I'm good at tertiary comedic text. So if you need some
Kind
of
of what
that,
I need.
You made a whole game.
I made a
that
whole
was
game that's just tertiary comedic text.
You're right. I forgot that you're perfect at it.
Mhm.
You're a lot better than me at it.
Well, Tom, if you have any trouble finishing your 15-hour video game, you can always come to all of us because we're very skilled at that, managing projects of that scope, obviously.
I'm sure you are. I guess if you have any long-form projects you need to help with, I guess I'm good too.
I will reach out.
Hiring a
I
services as a
don't
product
think
manager.
I'm ever going to make a 15-hour video game. Sorry, though.
I'm sorry. You know what the worst part is?
Yeah.
You know what the worst part is?
What's that?
I have a notebook of ideas of other.
That's how it always is.
Uh,
That's how it
yeah.
always is. Like once you're
Man.
in, that's it. Like you're not getting out.
I may have an RPG Maker project also kind of started.
I know. I saw that. I saw that. I recently acquired a legal version of MV, so that is now hanging out on my Steam account, thanks to our good pal Byron Halcher. So.
Oh my god, I'm so here for everyone making RPG Maker
Everybody
games.
should make RPG Maker games.
Happy.
I am
so happy.
Should all make RPG Maker games, please.
God, I started one and I'm happy. I got to the point where I could where I felt confident that I could finish it if I kept going. Like that's what I needed to get past was that initial wall of, is this possible?
Yeah.
So that felt good.
I agree with it. And you know what the best part is?
What's that?
Yeah.
RPG Maker already has inventory, so we don't have to worry about that.
Exactly!
It's actually going to be good.
It actually counts as a video game.
Yeah.
You can actually make a visual novel in RPG Maker and then have an inventory.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
A lot of my favorite RPG Maker games are basically visual novels.
I mean, hey, you can do a lot with pictures.
You absolutely can.
You can do a lot with pictures. Like, I think RPG Maker even has its own. There's one of the plug-in tools for it. It's not like it's like an official thing you buy, but does visual novel style cutscenes for you to import into your project. It's like, what the heck? Why did this not exist when I was 12?
Hold on.
Oh. Did we lose someone? Oh.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, someone was being weird in chat.
And later. Okay, there we go.
All right, thank you for taking care of that.
All right. So yeah, you're aiming for this year, and then hoping to come in, at least no later than early next year for Silas. Then
I'm hoping for sometime here soon.
Cool.
Because it's already mid-October. So
yeah, like somebody said on Twitter the other day that it was only 6 weeks till Thanksgiving, and that was just like, what is going on? What happened?
The year really snuck up on me this year.
Yeah, it feels like the early part of this year was so slow, and now it's just like it's now just downhill.
It hits summer, and it's just straight downhill speed-wise.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you for coming on, Tom, and talking with us about and sharing your RPG making experience with us.
I'm not ready to kick off Tom yet.
You're not? You're not?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh.
I have a thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
Tom is the one person in the world I can talk about it with.
Look, John, you didn't tell me what you were doing beforehand.
That's fine.
I kind of know what he's talking about.
Okay. Well, John Thayer.
Oh.
Yeah?
What have you been up to?
A game confirmed played by 2 people.
I finished the 3DS JRPG Alliance Alive. The Alliance Alive, I should say. So you both have heard of this and are very aware of it, right?
Yes, I am very aware of it. I have a copy. I've not beaten it like you have.
Oh god damn it! I thought
I played a demo, I think, or was that the game that came before?
That was Legend of Legacy.
Sorry, John. I was really when it came out. I was really.
Oh my god! God damn it! That was probably Legend of Legacy. Probably that was the one that came earlier and people didn't like as much. Mm-hmm. But because that was the one that had a high profile, nobody played this one.
Right.
So this is like probably the better one. Although I did go and buy Legend of Legacy immediately.
This is the one made for casuals.
This is the casual, accessible one with way more story. So Alliance Alive 3DS RPG. It's the same crew that made Legend of Legacy. A bunch of ex-Saga folks. Obviously a huge.
I mean, just from the demo that I played of the previous game, like, oh, this is Saga as hell.
It seems like Legend of Legacy is like very little story, very open-ended.
Yes.
And
I can confirm that Legend of Legacy is very open-ended, very little story, but it's also got this neat little flow to it. That's it's a game I like.
I really want to play it. It's also hard,
I like Legend of Legacy.
Is it hard?
It's hard, yes.
Yes.
Legend of Legacy is much harder than I'd say Alliance Alive is.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Then they made Legend of Legacy. It was a very open-ended, very hard Saga riff, and it sounds like it has a lot more in common with the Rancing Saga. I jumped to Alliance Alive because it has a full 10 more points on Metacritic. Just like 65, 75. And I was like, all right.
It goes from, oh no, to, hey, people can almost stomach this.
Yeah. So basically, it's a more in line with like what you'd expect from like Final Fantasy or like a contemporary JRPG in general. The story is basically a roller coaster. It opens up at times, but mostly you're on this track of story, and I can vibe with that. It has a very Romancing Saga-y combat system, and a weird character progression system where like all of their base stats are set in stone, but you level up HP, MP, and skills. It does this thing where it kind of mimics like the life point system from Saga Frontier, where when your character dies in combat, they take max HP damage, and then the max HP goes down, and then it doesn't go back up to their normal max HP until you go to an inn or something. So you have an incentive not to let characters die while doing long dungeon crawls, because it can fuck you over in a major way. It makes your characters weaker over time as the longer you stay in the dungeon, the frailer your characters get. It's a good effect.
It's just like Persona 3 when everybody gets tired. Every game is Persona.
No, it's an actual like organic cool.
It's an actual thing in Alliance Alive though. Like Persona 3 is just kind of random and probably based on, I don't know, luck or something.
I think it's level. I think it's just based on level.
It's probably level.
Plus, you can keep your characters from dying. Like, there's you have control over it if you don't suck. So, and also when your characters do die, you don't need any healing, any revive magic or anything. You can just use a healing spell, and that brings them back.
Right, because it's just based on their HP. Just cover their HP, of course. The max HP is what handles death.
It's a bunch of neat little rules that are different from what you'd expect in normal RPGs, and that's fun, I think, and it actually takes the time to teach you how a lot of it works. I engaged with most of it. I engaged with almost all of it. The one thing that I didn't understand was that every skill levels up along 3 different formation tracks depending on what formation you're in when you used it.
Oh Lord.
And that I just kind of ignored.
That feels weird and systemsy for the sake of being systemsy.
Yeah, but in a game full of weird systems for the sake of systems, most of them I engaged with and cared about.
Right.
Like, that was the one where I just didn't really worry about it. Most of it was relevant the whole game, and that's cool, I think. Because that's the game, is learning these systems and learning how to bend them to your advantage. And there's this strong theming around the setup is just like you're in a world where the sky, it's perpetually raining.
Perpetual rain.
Perpetually gray skies.
It takes place in Seattle.
The world is walled off and every region is isolated and walled off, right?
Yeah. You're all living under the tyrannical demon rule of demons with an A. And you're basically, humans are just at the bottom of this social totem pole. And it's just like a very, like, it's kind of a standard cool fantasy setup of this is a bad scene. Everyone is oppressed, and it sucks, and now we're going to try to...
And your girl just wants to see the sky.
And she just wants to see a blue sky. It's exactly like Dragon Quarter or Mistborn or anything, in that it's about seeing a blue sky, specifically, but also in every other way. So that's a nice setup to me. That immediately resonates, because it's like, it's instant drama of like, okay, this is a bad situation, I want to get him out. And an hour into Alliance Live, it is a very good stake-setting climactic moment. Where it actually I think I praised it on the Sockscast when I started the game.
Yeah.
Because it actually incorporates a mechanic from Saga, but actually like imbues it with narrative weight.
Yeah.
Which those games don't do very often.
Nope, not at all.
Those games don't really do story. They're about just enjoying the game, and I respect that. Alliance Live has a story that it cares about. Yeah.
I mean, the Saga games also have they handle story differently. It's all about subtext for Saga. It's not about the actual text that you're being delivered.
Yeah, it depends on the game. Like, Saga 1 is pretty loaded. Saga 2 gets pretty silly in comparison, and then Romancing Saga 2 is pretty loaded, but it kind of alternates. Like, Saga Frontier is just like, we made a bunch of these little stories. I don't know.
One of them is going to be the story about a Sentai hero taking on the evil organization.
One of them's a
the other
robot.
One's a robot. One's about a little animal boy who wants to gather the rings to hopefully nothing bad happens, and that happens.
And one has no story or ending, and that's the one Polly plays.
Yep. Lucky me. I won the lottery on that one. Great video game.
Copyright 1997.
One's about a girl running away with a vampire's bride.
That's real good.
While the other brides.
Like, I wish I would have played Acelus's story.
Yeah.
God, I can't wait to play more of that. So this doesn't do that. It has a story, and it basically presents it well the whole time. Like it has a handful of like big set pieces, like one where you're protecting a castle from a demon army, and it'll split the party like Trails would do it in third a couple times, and it'll have these dramatic set pieces where you are like protecting this castle as like the enemy is encroaching. It's very much like that Final Fantasy IV Fabul thing. It's got moments like that land really.
There's a Alliance Alive. How it starts too. For the first couple of chapters, you actually switch party members.
Yes.
From different groups.
Oh. The whole first 10 chapters of it actually structures its chapters where a chapter is like 20 to 30 minutes, so it actually is like a book. Instead of there being 5 chapters or whatnot. But like the first like 8 hours of the game, it's jumping between 3 different groups of people across this whole world as they come together and separate. And and then it climaxes with them all beating together at once and then fighting this one overarching enemy that's been building up. And it's very well done. I was just like extremely impressed with how well they handled it. And I think
it's got quite a big cast as well. For a game like this too.
They're pretty thinly sketched. They're light. It's not Trails.
There's a little girl with a duck robot.
She's very good.
Look, I had to get red on this somehow. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
She's very. There's a
What's
genius.
What's the robot duck do?
It's a giant duck-shaped mech, and it's called the Swan Song.
Okay.
There's she's the 12-year-old genius inventor who creates the duck robot and then helps you get the airship ultimately. Spoilers. It's a bunch of little things like that. It's just a nice story, and then it has a handful of like optional challenges, optional bosses and dungeons, which I was gleefully engaging with because I was having such a nice time with the game. I just did everything I could find. There are 3 optional party members. I've got all of them. I beat all the bosses, and I just kept playing through the game, having a good time. And I got to the ending, and the final dungeon is like 3 screens long. And then I beat the penultimate boss before it attacked me, and then I beat the final boss really, really, really quickly.
Nice.
Again, this game, like I said, this game is sort of easzy.
Oh, it's very easy.
Way.
But it sounds like John massively overleveled doing all the side stuff.
Yeah.
I just felt like my timer was under 30 hours. Like all it did. Like I thought that I was just strong enough to beat these optional bosses. Like that's where it was. I was just strong enough to comfortably fight these hard enemies. Like they were at the level I would expect the game to be at. I would want the game to be at for its story enemies, and then I'd want the final boss to be harder than that. But it turned out the optional bosses were much harder than the final boss, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, but this game definitely wants to tell its story.
Yeah,
it wants a player to get through that story and have that nice ending as well too. And when you have the saga mechanics, the similar saga mechanics, that can be sort of difficult for some people.
Those aren't conducive to getting through stories.
It's pretty blue-balled. Pretty blue-balled though. I was really, because that's what Saga does, is that it has a balls hard final boss, and you feel really good when you beat it. And this one is just.
Well, you did also just replay Romancing Saga 2.
I know.
You had that very specific final boss.
I'm like, well, I felt like with Romancing Saga 2, I felt like I tapped into about 15% of the game's system's potential, and then I barely beat the final boss.
Right.
And then I felt like this game taught me everything.
With like 80%, 90% of the mechanics.
Right.
Yeah. So I was disappointed by that. I felt I wanted it to be harder.
Well, for this, with Alliance Alive, hopefully more people play this because it just came out on PS4.
Yeah, it just
and
got the
Switch
HD release
and PC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So as a
people play it.
Saga fan, I was disappointed by the ease there, and I immediately did go grab Legend of Legacy because I saw people. I read reviews and people were complaining about all the things that made me sound really excited.
I like it when people complain
I
about the
think
things that make me happy.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, there's literally like a Kotaku piece. Legend of Legacy does not live up to its pedigree, and it listed every single thing it listed. It was like, there's no story. You just go out into this big open world and do whatever you want. I was like, oh,
you ever play a soccer game?
And then it's so hard. Oh, what am I going to do?
No, it's Kotaku. They only play titty games, so they obviously have never played Saga.
So I was pleased to hear that, like, okay, maybe this one is the one. And also, they both have great music. They have a great aesthetic and a great ambiance.
I probably like Legend of Legacy soundtrack more, but yeah, it's real good. It's for Legend of Legacy, at least, it's the Final Fantasy 13 composer, right?
Yeah, it's the Hamauzu. He did Saga 2. He did Final Fantasy 13 series.
Right. And
I'm a convert. I didn't like
Unlimited Saga.
Yeah, and Unlimited Saga.
Unlimited Saga has a fantastic soundtrack too.
So I didn't like him at first. I was like, these don't have like the beep boop happy melodies that I like in my RPGs. I like the Nobumatsu like super melody thing that I can just hum to myself. But he does more ambient stuff that actually sticks with me. That I actually like. So yeah, I really like this game. Like, even if I was disappointed by it not wanting me to push it as hard as it was, it's sort of a baby's first Saga. But the story is nice, and it's fast. It's a 25-hour contemporary JRPG, which is pretty rare, I think.
You don't get that these days.
Rare.
You don't get that.
That's about the length of a traditional RPG. Okay, if I'm playing it, I guess.
And
apparently, I go through the games really fast.
Apparently,
yeah. Alliance Alive moves real fast, and it's complete. It has a complete story. There's no bullshit. There's no sequel tease. It just is done.
And I'm really glad that this came out for Switch instead of, say, like the Bravely games right now, because like, I like Alliance Alive and Legend of Legacy more than the two Bravely Default games.
Oh, I don't give a shit about Bravely Default.
I would have thought that we would have seen HD versions of the Bravely Default games way before we would have seen one of fucking Alliance Alive.
Right.
Like, how did Alliance Alive... How is that the one they picked? I don't understand.
They're like, this has an audience that nobody's played this game, so...
Yeah, it was
it came out in 2000. It came out in America in 2018.
Yeah.
So, like, it's an earlier game from 2018, but nobody played it.
I had literally never heard of it until John started yelling about it.
It came out for 3DS in 2018 when everybody was complaining about games coming out for 3DS in 2018.
That explains
that is what happened with this game.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad it's come out again, and more people can finally play it and finally stop racking up for your games, because they're not that bad, people.
Stop what?
The developer of this. Everyone complains about. I see a lot of complaints about this developer.
What else have they made? Like
Legend of Legacy, Caligula Effect.
Caligula Effect just seemed boring, really.
That's a weird game.
It just seemed it seemed like it had ideas but didn't know how to execute on any of them.
Come back to me on Caligula Effect.
Okay, so they're developed the game was developed by Cattle Call. It was published by Furry.
Cattle Call, yeah.
Their actual work is basically like this. They did Legend of Legacy and Alliance Alive. Like, that's their big set piece thing.
Everyone complains about Furry as a publisher. And then in America, Atlas published Alliance Alive first. NIS just published the new release. Just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what else they did. I think Arc the Lad.
Yeah,
I'm looking. That was 2003, ages ago.
The newer Arc the Lad games, like the PS2 ones.
Yeah. Not that. God, it's like the 6th game. All right, so there's a bunch of older Arc the Lads that they didn't touch. Weird.
There's a lot of Arc. Yeah,
that was a PS1 game.
Yeah.
Originally.
So, yeah, this Cattle Call is the big one.
Cattle Call is the developer. Yeah, you're right.
Great name.
Yep. So for you, not Idea Fuck.
Not Idea Factory.
So I really like that, and that's all. I think that's what I said. That's what I had to say on it, on the matter. I'm very happy it got released, like re-released right after I finished it. I was just like, hey, brand new thing, take a gander. It's a nice story.
And
it's accessible to dumb babies who don't like hard games.
Dumb babies who only want games on the Switch.
Dumb baby, it's the
perfect dumb baby game.
I think it's a very good baby's first saga. Like, I think this is a way in for a lot of people that it's going to treat them a lot better than if they download fucking Romancing Saga 3 when that comes out next month.
Yeah, that's going to be
next month.
I'm waiting for the takes on that. I'm waiting for the takes on that when it comes out. Cannot wait.
And it's going to be so basic.
Yep. It's going to be a bunch of basic bitch ass opinions, and I'm here for it.
I've never played Romancing Saga 3, so I'm excited.
I'm really pumped too. I'm excited too.
Is that the one getting like the full remake?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
No, it's the same level as Romancing Saga 2's.
Well, it's still a
full
kind of punched up remake of it though.
The environment art's all different. They've added a bunch of animations to the sprites. It's definitely a remake.
Yeah, and like I definitely prefer I prefer this sort of touch up than say like the Final Fantasy mobile ports. I think the Romancing Saga stuff looks beautiful.
Yeah. The Romancing Saga stuff
I really like the
good.
aesthetic. Yeah. They have like these 3D rendered environments, but with 2D sprites, and I think that looks way better than the Mode 7 tilted with way too high res Dragon Quest thing.
The blurred the blur.
I just hate it.
I don't like it either.
Yeah, I played through Romancing Saga 2 on my mobile twice, and the new RS3 has the same aesthetic, so I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well.
All right. I guess we'll throw to Rhett. Rhett, do you have anything that Tom might want to talk about while he's here?
Yeah. Sure.
All right. Tom, stick around.
All right, I'm sticking around.
I've been playing.
Did people like me? I haven't been checking.
I love you. I love you personally.
Cat's a little slow today. So I think it was just last episode I mentioned I had finished Xenoblade, and I decided to do something real silly. I decided to start playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
You jumped right into this fucking thing, which I was just like, what? Like, you sounded real done with RPGs for the year.
I did.
Because you've hit a lot of the big ones this year, right? And then you finished.
I finished the Trails trilogy. I finished Xenoblade 1, obviously. And I took a little break. I did Professor Layton versus Ace Attorney, which was pretty long.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, okay, Xenoblade 2, let's go.
Wow.
That's kind of the last big check mark. Like, can't do one without the other. But now there's that DLC for this one that I'm like, kind of getting a little exhausted.
So
you can wait a little while on that.
Tell us about XC2.
Systems. Hey,
this game's got tons of them.
This game's got fucking systems out the wazoo for some reason. So it's really weird jumping into this one having just finished Xenoblade like barely a month prior, basically. So like there's things about the combat where I'm talking like the first opening minutes of the game where you're like, oh, like there's a little bit of impact when Rex swings his sword and hits the enemy. That's good.
Yeah, because the first game had none of that.
It's not completely weightless like the first one was. There's that system where certain attacks will make an enemy drop an HP potion, which you then have to run over and get, which is a little weird.
I think it's a good way to kind of keep you topped off.
Yeah.
Though. It's a smart alternative to having a healer only be a healer.
Yeah. But then there totally is just a healer character. But then there totally is a
healer character, because, you have to have one, basically, but the healer is capable of attacks. And I think that keeping the healer attacking most of the time in a game like this that's already really fucking slow, I think having those health potions keeps things sped up rather than having to wait on a healer that is not doing damage but still continuously healing the party. So I think
because you have to it's funny because your auto attacks charge up all your skills, so you have to attack in order to heal.
Yeah.
And then when you're running after those potions, you're not attacking. So it's an interesting system, but again, jumping from Endgame Xenoblade 1 to this, it felt really basic for the first couple hours. And then you start unlocking chains, and Jesus.
That's where the weird shit starts coming in.
This is where the fun starts happening. It's good.
It's fun, but it's like... There's something weird about this game where it's like... It seems like specifically designed to just hit pleasure centers in your brain without actually really being deep.
Wait, are we already talking about Pyra's tits?
Jesus.
Well, you said pleasure senses in your brain, and that's all I've ever heard you talk about with this game. So,
like, you do these chains, and you're watching the elemental charts that it shows you, and you're going for those 3 chains, and then just like the third one is basically just fucking fireworks going off.
Yeah.
Where it's like, and then like this big 6-digit number flashes on the screen, and there's a freaking announcer in this game.
Who I swear to God,
love it.
I swear to God, it's the same announcer from Sonic Colors.
God, it really might be.
It sounds like it.
So the moment the announcer came on for when I started playing Xenoblade 2, I was just reminded of one specific game, and it's Baten Kaitos 2, who also has an announcer during battle. That's also a Monolith Soft game, so...
Oh, okay, so this isn't a thing...
This is kind of
I guess
like
they invented it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is not it's not the first time Monolith Soft has an announcer in battle.
But they didn't, as far as I know, the first game definitely does not have anything like that, so it's definitely this game is a very different tone than the original.
Oh yeah, this game's tone is decidedly more, and I don't mean this in a bad way. It's way more anime than the original.
It's way more anime.
I don't mean that in a bad way.
This was kind of my observation when I first played through the game. I told myself, now, this is not exactly Xenoblade. This is Grandia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the tone.
And I think I like it more.
Than Xenoblade 1?
I love Xenoblade 2 way more than Xenoblade 1.
Oh, I knew you had a take there. I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah, I like Xenoblade 2 way more than Xenoblade 1.
Oh, okay.
There is something about the first game that is compelling, but also not compelling enough for me to not take 5 years to finish it.
It's compelling for me in the sense that I like Monolith a lot. A lot, like 3 of their games mean a whole shitload to me, so it really bums me out that I fucking don't like Xenoblade Chronicles.
It's the combat, right?
Yeah, it's just like, it's so... bleh.
It's so slow.
Yeah.
But, like, there's something about that first game that is still really compelling, and, like, the whole setting of that game is just amazing.
Yeah, the setting of that game is amazing. I love the story in that game, too. Like, it's great, but, like, having to play it is the problem.
I know. But, like, I feel like the second... I'm kind of jumping all over the place. I feel like something was lost in the second game with them being, like, small. The Titans are way smaller, obviously, and you never get quite that sense of living on a huge creature like you do in the first game. Because a lot of the later areas just really kind of wing it and not give a shit, where it's just like, I don't know, we're in a snow area now. We're stomach? I don't know, he's just hollow inside. Like, they do way less to kind of contextualize where in these creatures you are. And sometimes there's this kind of these abrupt transitions into places. Like, there was one part where I'm just like getting on a military boat, and then it's like I get on a boat and then it just fades to black, and then it fades up and I'm in the new area, and I'm just like, oh, you guys couldn't have put a little cutscene there, like introducing it. And then I walk like 10 feet forward and there's a little cutscene introducing it. But like, if they had just shown the boat flying up to it, like to show a little bit of context.
Just a little bit of an establishing shot.
Yeah, like it's so weird because this game is incredibly gorgeous and pretty.
Oh yeah.
But like, and some of the cutscenes are like, so like I praised the cutscenes in the first game as being like maybe the best I'd ever seen. And I think a lot of that was probably because you wouldn't expect that from a Wii game.
Yeah, obvious.
And like that level of lip sync and that level of animation and motion and just how nuts that game gets towards the end. This game definitely has that level of cutscene detail as well, though, but it's way more anime, basically.
Yeah, like the colors are way more vibrant. Things are popping out a whole lot more in that game's visual presentation.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying about the combat, where it's like when you do those 3 chains and like the huge number pops up, and then you just press start to do the big 3 attack thing, which is like way more of a win button than it was in the first game. Like the first game had something similar that would be pretty good, but this game it's just like, yeah, you're gonna kill the enemy, and then you're gonna go into a mode called overkill,
and then it's gonna
kill.
Where you're just going to do like a whole nother loop or 2 and just keep killing it just to see how high we can get this. This game is numbers going up.
Yeah.
Like the first time you hit, like 6 digits on a combo, you're just like, oh, okay. So like combat just kind of, for me, just becomes like rush your combos and then rush the triple thing that I don't know the name of anything in this game because there's so much. So like, there's lots of systems in this game. One of them is like pouch items.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I found one thing that I liked, and I've used it the entire game. Because I mentioned earlier that auto attacks fill up your skills.
Yeah.
There's a pouch item, and you can get a bunch of them early that will just auto regen them slowly over time without attacking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's really good because then you're knocking off skills constantly, which is, filling your elementals real quickly. So it keeps feeding into you get to the big damage numbers way faster.
Yeah.
And boy, I'm getting towards the late game. Pyrrha right now is doing the big numbers. She's like doing 6 digits by herself now, ending a combo. And I'm just like, okay, like, I know people have mentioned to me you'll hit the million soon. And it's like, yeah, I can see that coming.
Her damage is dummy thick.
It's just like, basically I'm at the point where nothing is living long enough to really crush it.
Yeah.
Needing to do 1 million damage. But I'm sure I'll get there.
Oh, you'll get to enemies that require that.
You're getting to my favorite part of the game. So.
Oh yeah.
You said you're in chapter. I think you said before you're in chapter 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You're at my favorite part.
Another long chapter game instead of taking the wise path of 20-minute chapters.
Yeah, like chapter 7 is where that game starts really flying, and then it's pretty much real good the rest of the way.
That means you've had the one Malos fight already, then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you realize what skills he was using, right?
Oh yeah, I did. I saw that. I mean, we're getting slightly into spoiler territory, so I looked at him and went, "Oh, that kind of looks like." And then he starts using these skills, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Okay, we're doing this.
I'll leave that. I'm not going to go any further there, but
yeah.
I thought that was a very, very good kind of...
That was like the first fight I had a lot of trouble with in a while. Because I did a lot of side stuff, and I ended up like level 50 on my main party. And then I jumped back to the main story. No, this was like in chapter 4, though.
Oh, in chapter 4.
And then I jumped back to the main story, and everything is like level 36, and I'm just like breezing through it. And I'm like, I should probably mainline the story for a bit.
Yeah.
So I just mainline the story, and then I get to that fight, and it was like, okay, finally, something's kicking my ass.
And as well, too, I like the side content in Xenoblade 2 way more than 1. Like, I like the quest in Xenoblade 2. All right. Like, way more than 1.
I mean, like...
I still think they're all bad.
So...
They're better in Xenoblade 2.
They're better... because Xenoblade 1s are such absolute dog shit.
Yeah, like, they are
not...
Yeah, they are the most basic-ass quests that you...
Kill these four monsters. Kill Kill these 3 monsters. Kill these 2 monsters. Yeah, at least you don't have to go back and report it.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like, the hilarious thing in Xenoblade 1 is when, how... I almost said Rex. Shulk has that foresight. Mm-hmm. So, like, you'll just pick up random items, and it'll fade to a thing like, oh, we got those 4 bionic blah blah blahs for Colony 6. And I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not actually doing that quest. Fuck off.
I'm not actually doing that. Sorry.
Yeah. The way you kept getting these premonitions of, like, quests you're not going to do into the super late game was funny to me. But it's just like, oh, the game is just letting you know, hey, I've still got all these collection quests for you.
You're just like, nah, like, I'm good.
And like fun. I know one person who 100% is Xenoblade 1. I know one person.
I know.
I never want to speak to them again.
100%.
Yeah.
I can't.
We may know the only 2 people in the world that have ever done it, because I know somebody that 100%ed it as well.
All right. Okay.
How do you feel about Blade quests, Rhett?
I actually finished one earlier that was all right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Ursula one.
Oh yeah, because I was about to say I know it's not the Ursula one.
She was one of the first blades I rolled, and then I'm like, okay, she seems pretty good. People online really like her. Oh, they really don't like her quest. I wonder. Oh my god! Like it seems good at first, or not? Seems tolerable at 1st, and then you're like, oh wait, literally 99 times on each. Like,
yeah.
This literally takes 16 hours of mercenary quests if you rush. Like what? What in the world? So I've actually managed to get her to like the second to last affinity ring. So I'm stopping there.
Just that like, we're good.
I can't, and I might not even. Actually, I think I probably will use her in the end game. But
this guy, you should look at how he grinded in Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. He's not averse to grinding, and this is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous because
you don't even get titties in this one.
There's a thing about this game where it has very modern video game systems. Like the whole blade summoning thing is just a gotcha.
It's
system.
a gotcha.
It's straight out of gotcha.
It's straight gotcha.
It's the one thing in the game I don't like. I'll admit, I don't like the blades.
I like it in some
way. I'm okay with. You don't have to pay for it. That's at least. I'm good with that.
I wonder if they were like, going to do that, probably... and then Nintendo was like, "Fuck off."
Only we can make people gamble.
I think they would be like, if this was a mobile game, sure, but not on our home consoles.
Yeah.
You don't shit where you eat, basically.
Right.
Sounds about right.
Like, I think the idea of everyone who plays through this game will have a slightly different party is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But then there are so many just rando junk blades.
Oh, yeah.
That I just don't give a shit about.
They're randomly generated too, I believe, right?
There's an event viewer in this game where you can view all the cutscenes, which is great because I'm not sure the first game had that. Mm-hmm. And not only can you view all the cutscenes, you can view them in like every possible connotation where like, oh, it was sunny, oh, it was raining.
Weather effect, yeah.
Yeah, you can change the weather in daytime, which is really neat.
That's
and then
cool.
you can rewatch all the blade summonings, including the randos.
Wow.
So you can be like, oh, I want to summon a dude with an axe with like face 3 of 4 with voice 8 of 9 with like this element. Right. And it's so you can see the randomization elements that are present there, and you can make all of them. They probably like ran that and just generated names for all of them.
That's just nuts.
I had one blade say, "Hey, I'm back," because I think I'd let them go, but like there is a finite number of them.
I live, bitch.
So they're just like, "I'm back."
All I know is I was working on a second playthrough just as a fun thing. I'm still trying to roll Cosmos.
Oh God!
I have Telos.
Telos is good.
I still have like at least 15 probably left, so I'm not anywhere near.
If
everyone says
they add more blades for you to get to, and they're fun. They're fun. They're the I don't know if I want to say which blades they are in the New Game Plus.
Oh.
But, they're all fun.
Do you need the DLC?
You don't need the DLC for this.
Oh, okay.
You get the Torna blades.
Oh, okay.
As party members, and they're fun. They're fun to use.
So it's not story related or anything. It's just a fun thing for New Game Plus.
No, it's not. It's New Game Plus.
It's really so the other thing that drives me nuts about the blade system is that how it's all random, but they are bound to the character that rolls them.
Yeah, that's real dumb.
And the worst part about that is there's this item called Overdrive, which will let you swap them once, that are incredibly rare.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get a couple in the DLC, I think.
And then you can pay if you want like 15 more. I've had 2 the entire game.
Wow.
So knowing that if you buy the season pass, you get 15 more, that's real mean.
Yeah.
That's real fucked up.
That's real shitty. That's real shitty.
So like that killed me because I kept rolling healers on Rex, and I didn't want him as a healer, and I kept rolling attackers on Nia, and I'm like, this is the worst. And then on the last other party members, I actually got pretty decent luck, but so they actually rolled their damn class, basically.
And it's real shit because the game auto-saves when you roll them.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's like these systems that don't need to be like this for a single-player game.
Yeah. Though, right as well, at the point of the game you're at right now, you're not worried about Rex's blades.
No, I'm not.
At all, so you're fine.
But I used 2 overdrives to move 2 of Rex's healers over to Nia, because I was like, she can't just have this dude with an axe the whole game. She needs something that can heal besides her default one. So that's how I got kind of hooked. I gave her Ursula, so that's why I'm fucking hooked into that goddamn quest, no matter how bad it is.
Yeah, there's also a couple of there's also a couple of cores you get just based on what story and what quest you do, and those are guaranteed blades.
Yeah.
For that, so you can you can pull those as well too, like the twins, the twin blades. You can pull them to whatever character you want. You can pull over the axe, the big guy you fight in the caves, over to another whatever character you want as well. So there are set in stone choices you can have too.
Yeah, basically for Rex, I just had to use that one you get. What's the Wolfric, I think?
Wolfric, okay.
Yeah, I used him on Rex because I'm like, Rex has no attackers besides, the story ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think my problem is I needed Nia to attack for a little bit sometimes, so I actually gave her Wolfric.
Interesting. I like keeping people, kind of in one role, basically.
I kind of just let the game go. I didn't look at anything playing through and just like, okay, let's see what happens, see what mistakes I can make.
Yeah, for the course that are set, I look because I'm like, fuck it, it's gonna autosave as soon as you open it.
Yeah.
The one I looked and then I forgot and then I gave it to the 5th party member. It was the one that you have to buy for $500,000.
Okay.
And then it was a girl in a bathtub.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, sure.
Why not?
Oh, she is so bad when you're running around in the field. If she's in the party, she does the view blocker.
Yeah,
because she's just huge.
Yeah,
I have another one that's it's basically this big green orb, and he blocks the view.
It's great.
You can't see shit.
It's great.
Some of the blades in this are real dumb. Like, Polly, I showed you that one. That's the ice lady.
Yeah, we know the ice lady is really stupid.
Oh my god, so again. That was like the 4th healer I'd rolled on Rex, and I was just like, yep, sure.
Of course.
Sure. Every single one goes to him. Oh, she's hideous.
Yeah. Doesn't even have a spine.
She's just a ball of boobs.
Yep.
They were like, we're going to make a character that looks Pyra look reasonable.
Yeah.
Like that's what they set out to
do. That's how you take the heat off Pyra, is you just make someone that's 50 times worse.
Which is incredible.
Someone at Vanilla designed this girl.
Oh, I don't know if you're joking or not. You're probably joking. It doesn't quite look like that style.
It doesn't look like that style. It's just the boob size really is, that's their thing.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
So there's the blade gacha, and then there's the timers. So there's this system in the game where you can send your extra blades because you'll have a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
You're rolling like 20 randos to one good one. There's a system where you can send them out on like little excursions and missions. It's like literally straight out of Assassin's Creed, like the later ones. And the thing about that, so it's like, oh, they'll be back in 50 minutes, and I'm like, cool, and I close the game.
Whoops!
And then I open the game back
50
up.
minutes, and game time.
Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck? It runs in real time with the game.
Yeah, it's real terrible.
So that's. I just don't get that. So that has led to me to just kind of idling this game a lot. If I'm not doing something, I'll keep the damn game open.
Yep.
So I have over 100 hours now.
Yep, that's basically how everybody I know that's played that game ended up with 100 hours.
Oh, God. I have done horribly stupid things. I have, like, taken my Switch out because it's a portable system. I take the Switch to work, play it on break, and then leave it open in its case, or leave it on in the case, so that it gets just a little 15 minutes more off those timers. Because eventually it'll go to sleep, but for 15 minutes it'll be like, you're paused here, but I'll keep ticking.
It's like Bitcoin mining.
Yeah, it really is. God, and it's just really stupid. And that's what the worst is the Ursula quest because her timers are 10 minutes.
Oh,
you have to keep going in there, like 99 times 3 times.
That's real shit.
Not quite as bad as that because some eventually start getting 2 stamps per thing. But the fact that it's instead of just having like a 3-hour quest, it's just you have to keep doing those goddamn menus over and over. It's
10-minute in that 10-minute interval.
Yeah, so...
I didn't get Ursula until that New Game Plus starts, so that was a.
So these are all like MMO mechanics, right? Where the idea is to get you, because I've gotten a little snippet of that getting back into a gacha game, just like all these systems about getting you to play every day and getting you to do these and just getting that weird kind of brain candy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's weird because I don't know why this game needs it at all.
Yeah.
Like it's a good way. Oh, and then there's field skills, and then
all of that shit.
Yeah, like I haven't had any trouble because, well, I mean I guess I have had trouble because the first few times I reached one, I would just like stop the main story and just focus on getting that for the next 5 hours.
Yay.
Oh god, there was one where it's like, oh, if only you had Ice Mastery level 3 or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I've only got level 1. Well, if I just send these 2 characters out on mercenary missions, eventually they might hit level 3 together.
Ugh.
So I basically stood there for 4 hours waiting. And I think I did do it.
This is the kind of shit that it's just like, I can't with this fucking series.
Every time I ran into a situation like that, I was like, okay, what common blades do I have? Okay, what skills do you have? Okay, I'm just going to make a party and see if I can just get it added up just right.
Yeah.
And I think it's basically how I got through each one.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what you have to do. You're party switching constantly, but it's like, oh, this blade has the potential to learn level 3, but they're only level 2 yet, and you're just not quite there. Well, I'll send him on a mercenary missions, and he'll be back in 40 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna go watch Simple Gear. I just leave the game open, and then I'll come back 40 minutes later and be like, oh, he didn't learn it. Okay, send him back again.
God.
But then I was like, okay, all right. I've done this before.
Yeah, so basically I grinded so many blades early on that I haven't had any troubles in a while, which is good. Because oh my god, I started a spreadsheet on Rex for like, okay, he's got 2 of every element. Eventually they all have the potential to learn level 3 elements, and like and like, okay, I've got these skills, and eventually I realized it didn't really matter that much. Holy shit, though. It's very silly. The worst is just having to go into those menus and like little things like when you select a character, the first option is to level up their weapons instead of switch their blades. And I just think I'm switching blades so much that should have been the first option.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you level weapons way less frequently. Like it's just tiny little UI things like that, where this could be a lot faster than it is.
And even then, your weapon levels are shared across what type of blade you have too. Like it's not linked to like what blade you have. It's just what their skill is in that weapon type, because each blade is their own they're in a weapon type.
Yeah, except for all the story blades have unique weapons though.
Unique, the story ones have unique, but yeah.
But just like
they're special.
I'm just bitching that I accidentally have clicked that menu like 100 times when trying to switch blades because it's the first option. It's a little thing. Field skills are bad. So
it's a little thing.
Basically, this episode of the podcast, I'm just bitching about all the systems in this game, and then next week
it's next gonna be
episode,
how fucking great the end was.
Yeah,
next you're gonna be. The tears are gonna be coming. That's all I'm gonna say.
The tears have already been coming.
The tears have already come.
The end of chapter 7 into 8 was just like, oh, this game is really fucking good, huh?
Yeah, it goes real hard there.
So I'm very excited to see where it goes now, but unfortunately
I can't wait till the end game for you. So
I've also decided to dive back into the side quest hell now that I'm kind of. Well, I mean,
now you're struggling.
Not so much that I'm struggling, it's that kind of now that I have the gangs back together and I can actually. There's a point in that game where you can't do a bunch of the side quests anymore because you're missing a party member, and then when you get them back, you lose the rest of the party, so you have to keep going. I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake! I had all the requirements. I go talk to the guy, with Ursula in the party, and he literally disappeared in front of me because I was missing a party member, and the cutscene wouldn't play without them.
That's really fucked up.
I was like, come on. He literally, like, faded out.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't leave that area until after I got the party back together, so, okay, yeah. I see.
Yeah. I know narratively it makes no sense. Even when there's a part where you're by yourself pretty late. You can just fast travel out, though. It's real dumb.
That's okay.
It's dumb. But...
It's dumb. It's like, oh, you might be really screwed with this one party member if we actually lock you in here.
Yeah.
But narratively, it ruins it.
Oh.
Not. I just checked to see if I could, and then I was like, oh, I shouldn't do that. And then I struggled through it.
Nice.
Like, yeah.
Wise.
So that's part 1 of the Xenoblade. Hey, I'm actually going to finish this one.
You're going to finish this one in a decent amount of time.
This one's a lot better paced. You're going to be all right.
I think that this game is a lot better paced.
It's a lot better paced than the first one, yeah. The first one is... It's the combat in the first one just not having the pretty fireworks all the time.
No fireworks, no impact. Nothing feels good. Nothing feels good about combat in the first one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They weren't really feeling it.
That's why I'm excited to see what exactly that Xenoblade remake is going to be like.
It's being made on the XC2 engine.
Yeah, so I'm wondering what exactly they're going to be doing UI-wise and things like that.
Or if they're going to change any of the core gameplay, or if it's just...
If they'll make the battle system not actually feel like punchy.
Yeah.
I mean, surely they can make it feel better without actually changing it.
Yeah.
Probably. We'll see.
It's funny, though. It's like you expect them to be like, oh, and they can remove all those fucking boring fetch quests. They probably won't do that.
They won't.
Because they've learned nothing.
Probably
They've just added more systems into every game. So that's Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I almost said X for some reason. That's
weird.
Not the one I played.
No, don't play that one. That one's boring. That one's boring.
Probably they're all a little boring.
I'm going to be quiet.
They're all boring.
All right. So let's take a 5-minute break. But before we do, are we good to let Tom go now?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, Tom. Thank you for being a good sport and sticking around.
The JRPG
you're welcome.
Episode.
There were JRPGs. There were
a lot of JRPGs.
I guess I have to be spoken to for those, I guess.
Yeah, like you are kind of the guy we go to for that.
That's really funny that we had such a one that was relevant for all of us.
Yeah. Worked out really well.
It worked out.
All right,
worked out for me. It was a good night to do it anyway.
So for everyone out there in internet land that wants to keep up with what you're doing, I mean, especially because, you've got a game coming up, where can everybody on the internet land find you?
Best way to find me is still going to be, Twitter, Jetstorm4.
Mm-hmm.
That's me on Twitter. You can find anything I make game-wise on my itch. That's also Jetstorm4 on itch.
Nice.
I think John linked the moon. My moon page.
Give it a play.
Good play. It's real good.
Yep.
Cool.
But I think that's it.
All right. Thanks for stopping by, dude. We will catch you next time.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Right.
I'm excited to play your game.
Yep. Good.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead, take that 5-minute break, and we will catch you all in just a few minutes.
Hello? Oh. God, that went longer than I realized. A little bit. There's a lot of systems to talk about in that game, and Jetstorm egging me on didn't help.
Yeah.
Because I realized, like, towards the end, I haven't said, like, shit about the story or anything. I'm just like...
That is a real big story to try and summarize, though.
Not even that I'll really summarize it, but just my reactions to it. And it's just like, anime cutscenes. I don't know. I still feel like there's something about that first game that is interesting that this one maybe kind of loses, but I can't. I've heard somebody say that Xenoblade 2 is a game that is less than the sum of its parts.
I can kind of see that, yeah.
It's weird. It's like, it's so pretty and I love these areas so much and they're so disconnected from each other.
Yeah.
Literally. It has a weird flow.
Yeah. How it be sometimes things just...
But I mean, I like it, so...
Yeah, like, it's fine. Like, it's still... cute little thing.
Uh-oh. Blizzard has banned Winnie the Pooh costumes from BlizzCon.
Of course they have! Who's fucking surprised?
I wonder why they did that.
Wonder why?
Oh, apparently it's fake. Sorry. Oh. They didn't actually post an update saying that not to do that, which means
people should do it. Yeah. Everybody should do it. Red shirts for all. Let's go. Oh, fuck Blizzard, by the way. They suck.
Yeah. And fuck Apple. And fuck basically every corporation, unfortunately.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, what next-gen system isn't going to be made in China?
Yeah, good point. See, that's why I'm not buying next-gen systems.
You're buying your PC.
There you go. My all-American PC. Sure it is. Bet it is. 100%.
You're going to play Cold Steel 3, and then you're going to put your PS4 in a box.
There you go. What do I need it for?
Hopefully Cold Steel 4 comes out for it.
I'm pretty sure it will. Like, I'm judging just from my local GameStop, I know that they've taken over 100 pre-orders for it. Which really surprises me.
Yeah, I guess that's actually pretty good for one niche game.
I was like, are you sure?
GameStop?
It's like, you've taken 100 pre-orders for Cold Steel 3? That's kind of crazy.
And then he said to you, what's Neptunia?
What's Neptunia?
I'm back.
I guess that makes sense because, the Cold Steel fans that are in it are in it.
Really in it, yeah.
They're going to be the ones getting it day one. That's probably what Nisa's betting on.
Yeah, like, I am sure that game is fine, and I'm sure that Cold Steel 4 is more than locked for localization.
Yeah, the fact that they're bringing over 3.
Yeah, if they're not working on it already, I'd be surprised. Because the way I understand it, with the way Falcom is working with Nisa now, is they're not giving Nisa anything until they have finished the game 100% on their side, and that includes post-launch patches and shit. And Cold Steel 4 has been out a year, so that game's probably already being worked on.
That doesn't bode well for Ys 9 then.
Nope, it doesn't, because they've already said, again, that's where they reiterated that point, is that they're not giving anything up for localization until they're 100% satisfied with it on their end. So, but I know that they recently just did a big patch for Ys 9, so.
Do you know when... Is there an estimate? Is there no release date for Ys 9 in the States? Not
at all. No, it's not even official yet.
Yeah,
like that game literally just came out 2 weeks ago in Japan. So.
Okay. This is like Trails of Cold Steel 4 having been... Oh, that's a nice Ishtar. Thank you, Rhett. But that's like Trails of Cold Steel 4 has been out for like what, a year?
Yeah, it came out September of last year.
Gotcha. That's so wild that Cold Steel is finished.
Yeah, like and you're just now getting ready to hit the PSP games. You got a long way to go, Thyre. But it's back to me, isn't it?
Yeah. Hey, Polly.
Cool. I did a couple other things. We can talk about them. We can talk about them.
Oh, boy.
I watched El Camino, the Breaking Bad movie.
Oh, I did too.
It's a real good movie.
Is it?
I think that it's a real good follow-up and a real good kind of send-off to that series, and especially the character that centers around Jesse Pinkman, who ended that series on what would be considered, at the time, it would be a high note, given that...
just a bit, yeah.
Yeah, given the things that he had to endure, which this movie really...
is all about, yeah.
Goes deep into the time that he spent kind of in the very bad situation he was in for the last 2 seasons of that series. Oh boy, there's some real disturbing shit. Like, they bring back a character that everybody's just really squeaks you the fuck out.
No, everybody's so excited to see him again.
Oh god, just every second he is on screen, and he has these perfect reactions to everything. That's just like, man.
I feel bad for that actor.
Yeah.
For how much people hate this character.
Yeah, but he does it so well.
He's so good at being so hateable.
Like, it's just like, wow. Like, the way that character is written is unbelievable, but the way the actor sells it with his just inflection and tone, and it's unbelievably good. It's good character writing. It's good character acting. But yeah, like, I think this is a really good movie that explores a lot of that stuff, and it's a downer of a movie. Even though, Jesse, like, by the end of it, I think he gets a good conclusion, but it's not one, like, there's like a sort of a scene at the start with him and Mike, where it's just like, I want to go somewhere and make things right, and Mike's just like, well, that's something you can never do. You can never make it right. You can get away from it, but you can never make it right. And I think that's sort of explained, like, even though Jesse ends up in a better situation by the end of the movie, it's like, what is the cost of all of that, though? Like, when you look back at everything that he's had to endure. Also, shout-outs to Skinny Pete and Badger. Best friends ever. Like, that whole scene, I was just like, where's the shoe gonna drop? When's the shoe gonna drop?
I know, right?
And it was just like, no, they're just real good boys, and they really help their friend in need, and that really made me happy. But yeah, I think it was really good. Nice. What'd you think, Rhett?
I thought it kind of felt like a long episode of the show to me.
Well, yeah.
Or maybe like 1 or 2 episodes of the show.
I think that's exactly what it was meant to be. I don't really think that it was made with a movie budget. It was made with just kind of like, hey, here's some TV money. And it's going to be it's going to be aired on A&E as a 2-part series, so
okay. It was good. I mean, there's a few tense. I think it's much more low key than the series.
It's subdued. It's very subdued and very quiet. Subdued. But I think that's because with the nature of the character we're dealing with and like the issues they're going with, because there's a lot of PTSD here. Yeah. It's just like those quiet moments are there to accentuate like the moments of when something bad might be ready to fucking happen. So it's preying on like that odd, awful feeling in your gut that something's gonna go wrong.
And then a couple times it does.
A couple times it really does.
Breaking Bad experience.
Yeah, that's the Breaking Bad experience. Is things really go bad. Imagine that. It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's a good movie. I like it though. I think it's like I don't think they need to do anything more with that series now. It's good.
Well, there's still
other than Better Call Saul. Like, you got to finish that. I think they said 5th season might be the final of that one, too.
Yeah. I still haven't watched the 4th yet.
Oh, dude, it's so good! Go watch it!
You remember how the 3rd one ended, though.
Yeah, it was real fucked, wasn't it?
I was so fucking emotionally defeated by that I just kind of never wanted to go back in a weird way.
I
will see if 4 is on Netflix by now.
I think it is. Because it aired last year, so...
I kind of figure they should have it by now, considering they're getting an exclusive movie.
Yeah. Better Call Saul. Yeah, like, season 4, oh boy. Prepare them feelings.
It's basically... God, even season 2 of Better Call Saul, like, ended on such a fuck moment.
Yeah.
Where you were so scared to go... You're so scared... It's like... I'm scared to see what's next.
Yeah, every episode...
what just happened.
Every episode, you press the play button, you're just kind of like... cringing a little bit because it's just like don't like this is gonna get worse.
Yeah, it doesn't get better. I kept thinking there was gonna be a tie-in to Better Call Saul and the Breaking Bad movie.
I wasn't sure. Like, I thought that they might go that way, but I wasn't sure how they would do it, given where it takes place in the timeline. But given that, like, Saul's part in that story is already over.
That was kind of the weirdest thing to me too. Was like having watched the series. When did it end? Like season 5 of Breaking Bad.
2016.
So it's been at least a few years.
Yeah,
I've rewatched this. I've rewatched the whole series since then.
Yeah,
like for me, the events, the end of that show was several years ago in my head, and then realizing watching this movie, like it's taking place
minutes
immediately after.
Yeah, like it is taking place. It is taking place in tandem with like the last 20 minutes of the movie, and then you roll on past that.
Yeah. So I've had time to process how the series ended. The characters sure haven't.
No.
And that was probably one of the more interesting parts for me, is like them watching the news and being like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like those moments were really interesting and fun though. Like when you did get those immediate callbacks and shit. Like that was like
It would be interesting to watch this, like watch through the series and then just immediately
jump into El Camino
as if it's like the last 2 episodes for real.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But it's good. Like, if you liked Breaking Bad, there's absolutely no reason. Wow, 2013 was the end of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I thought
2016 sounded way too recent. I was like, that's old, right?
I knew it had been a hot minute, but I didn't want to.
Wow, 2013. Crap. Hold on, I got a fork for that. There we go.
That makes sense, though. They've done 4 seasons of Better Call Saul since then.
Yeah. I don't really think of TV that much because I don't watch a lot of it. So
this is like
Polly, Breaking Bad still feels recent to me because it's the last thing I really fully invested in TV-wise.
Yeah, Polly, do you know what shows I've watched since like 2000? I've watched Lost,
Breaking Bad.
I watched Breaking Bad, and that's it. And a lot of anime.
Yeah, a whole shit ton of that.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are like big TV folks.
Nah.
I mean, John, you talking about The Office was out of our wheelhouse.
That was way out of our wheelhouse, yeah.
Like one of the most mainstream possible things, and we're just like,
Like the closest I got to watching The Office was like all of Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I watched all of Parks and Rec, and that's the same. It's the same vibe.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I think it's a lot of the same appeal. Honestly,
yeah, I think so.
I got through 5 seasons and had is just what I needed, and then I stopped.
Is there more?
Let's see, 4 more seasons.
4 more.
Oh.
And then Steve Carell leaves like 2 seasons before the end.
Oh. I think 5 seasons is a nice round number for shows to go out on.
I think so.
It's not exactly a big continuity thing. I don't feel like I'm missing out on the overall arc of the story very much.
No.
And I can always return to it later.
Yeah, there's always more there. It's not an obligation, it's a gift.
It's a gift.
There you go.
The Office is a gift.
So yeah, the Breaking Bad movie is great if you like the series. Like, absolutely. Like, you can get a free Netflix subscription. Like, I've been living on free Netflix subscriptions for like a year.
Nice.
Like, they just keep giving them to me. I don't understand why, but like, I'll do the trial, and at the end of the trial, I'll cancel. 2 days later, try Netflix for free. Every fucking time.
I always figured stuff like that, you have to put a credit card in, and then if you use the same one twice, they're like,
that's the thing.
No.
That's what I'm doing. I'm putting in the same information every time, and they keep giving it to me.
That's hilarious.
I'm not complaining, but obviously, but
I tried to cancel my Audible, and they were just like, "Oh, we can give you a free credit. We can give you half off for 3 months. Please stay. Please stay."
You say I only hear what I want to. That's a song called Stay.
I only watched 3 seasons of Breaking Bad because I watched it when it wasn't finished, and it just completely oozed togetherness.
Wait,
being very
have you not finished it?
No, I didn't.
What?
Because now I need to start from the beginning. I feel like.
Oh, I know.
I hit that line where I couldn't just start from where I left off.
Oh, that's
a bummer.
Yeah, like seasons 3 and 4 are so tightly together, like kind of their one big season.
Like season 1, little loosey goosey. Season 2, we've really cinched up now.
Yep.
Season 3, 4, and 5 are just you're not like
stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, season 2 and 3, I watched that and I was just like, oh, this is just great television. They just know exactly what they're doing. That's what I meant by togetherness. It's just completely together. They know what they're doing.
But they knew the start and end point of that series when they started it. And they did not deviate, and they didn't, despite its successes, they didn't try to, milk it. They didn't go longer than they needed to.
No.
Yeah, so I'm when you say, yep, this is just really good, I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason to not have confidence in, that property.
Or pretty much anything they do, because Better Call Saul is also
really Better
good.
Call Saul is also very good. Vince Gilligan, pretty smart guy. Gotta say. Yeah.
John at least knows who Saul is.
Yeah, Saul is good. Saul is amazing.
Yes, he's very fun.
You wouldn't think a spin-off of him would work, and it totally does.
Yeah, it's kind of like I, the Somnium Files in a way, where it's funny, but it's also very, very dark.
Excellent.
Then it starts getting really, really dark. And now it's in a hole, and I don't know how they're getting out of it. Because it's, it's real, oh man, season 4 goes hard.
I might have to start that soon.
Do it! It's good!
That's one where I'm probably just going to wait and finish it when it's done. Play it, watch it when it's done,
probably
so I don't get caught in that trap again.
Probably the smart take. Take.
Y'all are already in it, though.
So yeah.
You would definitely start with Breaking Bad first anyways.
Yeah.
All right, so that's that. I played a video game.
Oh boy.
Y'all,
tell us about this video game.
On this very positive episode.
So hey, it's an RPG. So it's
is it?
So hey, there's some synergy here going on with everything. Everybody played an RPG. I played Indivisible from Lab Zero, the creators of Skullgirls, which was pretty good fighting game that I feel it's a fighting game that I feel catered to a hardcore audience, but was able to pull in an audience that, if you've not touched a fighter before, that game is very good at teaching you the basics of how to play a fighting game, and it's really good. The art is impeccable. Skullgirls, pretty good. Oh yeah. They did a lot of post-release stuff for that game and kept it relevant for a very long time. So
they even added a guy playable character.
And nobody got pissed off. Which is weird when you consider the Indivisible's cast is 80% female and a bunch of people are pissed off. It's also 80% people of color. Whoops. Can't have that in video games. That's diversity. But Indivisible. To just put it short, it's a revenge story. I guess that's what it wants to be. You tell me if you've heard this before. You start out in a village where you live. You have a 2-minute conversation with your dad that ends in an argument. He leaves, and then you go back, and then you're outside the village, and you come back to your village. The village is on fire.
So it's a JRPG.
Oh no, the village is on fire, and you go around, and you come down, and oh no, this guy you just met killed your dad. Oh no, that sucks. She killed her dad right in front of her. That's awful. That's terrible. So you have a boss fight with him. You beat him. Then he joins your party.
Okay, so he's your slave now.
No, he's just kind of the guy that joins your party, and you have happy joke fun time with him from now on. Because that's how you do when somebody kills your dad. You they join you 2 minutes after you killed their dad, and then you just have a jokey fun time. You may be seemingly mildly annoyed at him from time to time for having killed your father.
Does he join your party, or does he get sucked up into her brain or something?
He gets sucked up into her brain, and that's the conceit. Is that is
that they're stuck together?
They're stuck together for some weird reason. But why did we do this with the character that just killed her dad? And why does she she gets over it very quickly. Mm-hmm. She gets over her dad. She gets over her dad dying very quickly. By the time you've met the next character 2 minutes later, after you recruit the guy that killed, she's already making jokes. This is a character Ajna makes no fucking sense at all as a character because everything she does is dumb, wrong, and makes nothing, and just makes every situation worse. And Like, there's no emotional attachment to anything with this character, seemingly. Even though it's a revenge story, rawr, this person killed my dad, even that, like, just kind of gets thrown out the window like all the other plot points in this game. Is that, like, this is a game that moves very quickly, if you haven't guessed. And it is just disposing of plot points after plot point after plot point as quickly as it can to just get you somewhere. I don't know where the story ends up because I quit playing it. Because it's bad. It's a bad video game. The writing is terrible. The pace is ridiculous. It throws away its plot points left and right. Like, characters are paper fucking thin. Like, I've never seen less writing for characters. I got a character at one point who didn't even have lines prior to me recruiting him. Like, I just walked up to him, I'm gonna join your party now. And he never has a line after that. Just, hey, here's a character. We made a character, so we've got to put it in. And that's kind of...
Indiegogo backer.
God, there's a lot of that bullshit in this game, too, let me tell you. But, like, the characters...
That Chrono Cross.
This is a game...
character recruiting.
This is a game...
I've heard it's thinner.
This is a game that has to...
Sorry. This is a game.
This is a game that has to give you a character like every 20 minutes or it's going to explode. And every character plays differently, controls differently, and that's about the depth as you get out of them because storyline-wise, we didn't write nothing.
God. So are these characters all in our head basically after that setup?
Like, that's the weird thing, is that, like, yeah, they are, but a lot of the times they'll also just appear with her randomly in cutscenes, and I don't know if they forgot the conceit of their own game, or just kind of like, because you have this whole inner world thing that you can do. At any time, you can just go to Ajna's inner world, and all the characters are there, and they just have, like there's no purpose to it other than, oh, hey, I talked to you and you said a one-line thing that really made no sense or added anything to anything. Good.
They made a jokey joke.
Yeah, like, you just killed my dad, but we're gonna have a jokey joke. It's so dumb. God.
So weird.
I feel like there has to be some justification for.
And then, like,
geez.
And the thing is, like, this is a game that has over 20 characters already. By the time you reach the end, there's over 20 characters, and the game is incomplete. They don't have all of the characters in yet. There are parts of the map that you can go to in this game where, oh, there's something that needs to be here, and it's not. And I ran into a lot of those in the 10 hours I put into this game.
So it's not even stuff at the very end. Like,
no!
Like, yeah, Beepner in chat mentions Crosscode, which is a full game, and then you get to the end and they go, hey, there's going to be more, but it's not done yet.
No, this is just a game where, like, bits and pieces seem to be missing, like the tutorials that explain the game systems probably needed to be in there. Like, the combat is horribly explained to you. Like, in these, like,
in depth.
It's these, like, 2-sentence blurbs that explain how to use a character, but oftentimes there's more to it than that. Like, and they don't explain, like sometimes they'll, like, the biggest problem I've seen people have with this game is not understanding what this rainbow symbol is when a character's moves are being explained. They never explain it to you what that icon means, and you have to kind of just figure out, oh, it's the super meter. And it's just like, okay, but why does it say 2 super meter when I only have 1 big super meter? And it's like, oh, because we divide it up later. It's like, well, why are you giving me moves that need 2 super meter now?
And I peeked at the Steam reviews, and it sounds like you're not the only one who had a lot of these issues.
And, like, the game will also give you overworld abilities that let you traverse places or allow you to enter combat at an advantage. It will give you these moves on the sly and then not tell you about them until you go look at an in-game menu and find out, wait, when did I learn that?
What?
What is that?
Like,
why do I have... Like, yeah, there's a parry you can do outside of combat so that when you go into combat, you gain an advantage. They don't explain this to you at any point. I learned about it about 6 hours into the game when I was like, what is that abilities menu? What the fuck is that? And then there's like this list of 8 abilities I had that I didn't even know about. Because the game didn't surface anything.
Do you start with them, or are you actually gaining them as
You're
you
gaining
go?
them as you go, because
That's
after that
wild.
point, I started gaining more of them. And the game was just like, it never explained them. So there's too many characters. A lot of shit isn't explained, including how a lot of these characters play very well. Because, like, all the characters have a different kind of gimmick and how they're set up for combat. Before a recent patch, one of the characters' attacks didn't even have hurt boxes.
Oops.
Whoops. I don't know how that got through testing. So, like, and then, like, the writing is so bad because then they have to account for a lot of people on the Indiegogo campaign paid to have dumb original characters in it. Some of them, I guess, are playable, and a lot of them are background characters and NPCs and shit. So, and it's just like, in all of them, every single instance, is that when you talk to them, it's some dumb fucking inside joke that only that person would get. So it's just like, they're making references to whatever dumb work they're from, but you're probably not familiar with it. So it's just like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, stop
it's just
letting
noise.
Yeah, exactly. It's just noise. It's just here's a thing in a game someone can jack off to because they got somebody to put it in a video game.
It's funny because I'm thinking of Hollow Knight right now, which put all that shit in one room off to the side.
Yeah, yeah.
There's that one graveyard where there's like 30 bugs and like, hey, you get a little one-liner. And it's just like, it's this one little thing that you might miss. It doesn't kind of influence the entire breadth of the game.
Yeah, like, I think that some of the Indiegogo shit that didn't make it in yet are Indiegogo backed shit of like characters that are going to be playable. And that, like, of course, Shovel Knight and Shantae aren't in yet. Though they are going to be in the game as well. This game does not need all of these characters. It has all these characters and does fuck all with any of them.
I wonder if Shantae will have any dialogue.
Doubt it, because nothing like, there are so many characters you run into. Like, when you get them, you meet them and their story is literally just, man, I am mildly inconvenienced at the moment and you happen to be going where I'm going. I'm gonna join you now. That's
This
it.
is wild.
It's so bad. Like,
so what is the combat?
The combat is like, they're trying to take a stab at Valkyrie profile and missing it entirely.
Mm.
So it functions very similarly in that each character is mapped to a face button. Each character has a certain number of globes under them. That's how many attacks you get. And you string together attacks to do combos and all that fun shit. And, like, you can use, like, up for launchers, down for low ground attacks. Shit like that, right? And then, like, some enemies you need to break their guard with, like, a down and then an up attack. It's a very simple system. But there's a big problem. And that the RPG mechanics of this game mean fuck all of anything. Because there's no stats, there's no items, there's no equipment, there's no currency. Like, and leveling up doesn't even make that much of a difference. Because when you start the game, the numbers are fairly small. You start the game with like 450 hit points or something. And all the characters you get at that point all have a comparable number of health, so that the fights are challenging. They're engaging. You actually have to pay attention to what you're doing, and your strategy matters. At some point around the 3-hour mark, a story beat happens, and the main character powers up to a ridiculous degree, and suddenly now you have 6,000 more hit points. Suddenly all the numbers are way bigger, and suddenly leveling up giving you 25 hit points per level doesn't mean jack shit. So what's the point in fighting? Like, by the time I hit the 8 out of 10 hour mark, I was skipping all the fights I could. Because combat just feels pointless. Because all of the enemies are fucking HP sponges who have ridiculously bloated amounts of health that no matter, like, you could efficiently combo these enemies. Doing the best combos you absolutely can, it's only going to make the fight 10% faster. It's ridiculous. It's, I don't actively hate that many games. Actively. You know, I hate Contraforce.
My god!
I hate Indivisible. I hate everything about this fucking game. Like this is like that Dragon Warrior 11 where it's just like, if you like this, I don't understand you. I don't get you at all as a human being.
I was worried. I looked at the trailer after I saw you complaining a bunch about it, and then I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me a little bit of Arafel. And then listening to you talk about it again, I'm like, Arafel kind of sounds better.
Yeah, like I would probably sooner play RFL than I would ever like. When I uninstalled this game, it is hidden in my Steam library. I don't even want to see it. I don't want to accidentally scroll by this piece of garbage. There's not like, how do you connect to anything in this game? Like the platforming isn't good. It's not great. It's just like, oh hey, here's adequate platforming for a Metroidvania kind of game. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Also, yeah, the game's got a lot of that boring, here's a colored door you can't go into. Go find the thing that'll let you go into this colored door. It's got a lot of that bullshit. It's got a lot of weird platforming where if I'm running and I jump, I lose all my momentum. Feels real good. No. Feels fantastic.
I've honestly seen people say that, like, at a certain point, this is actually much more Metroidvania than it is an RPG.
Yeah, like the RPG stuff is, I don't know why it's there. I literally don't, because that was
the whole premise of the game originally.
Yeah, it feels so fucking consequential that like nothing matters. Like I'm gaining levels. I'm doing maybe 5 or 10 hit points more per level, but when I'm doing like 810 hit points per attack, that ain't a whole fucking lot. You're not helping me out here, video game.
I would love to see what the numbers like at end game, like 30 hours in.
Yeah, because that's like, the thing.
Now you're doing.
Valkyrie Profile dealt with big ass numbers like this too. Like you had characters that had 25,000 health by the end, but it balanced it. You had stats that you could look at and go, okay, I know why these attacks are landing the way they are. I know what I need to do to change my strategy. With this game, I have no idea what they're gauging defense on. I have no idea what they're gauging offense on. It just feels random because from enemy to enemy, the numbers aren't consistent.
I've seen people saying basically at the point probably you're around, like, offense is the only option because her healing is so overpowered that like you can just mash offense if you ever need to.
Like once you get to that point, like if you choose to engage in combat, and I don't know why you would want to, like, yeah, you can just button mash it, just slam your hand on the controller, do attacks and shit. And if you run into any danger or anybody dies, the main character has a resurrection that you can do by just pressing left trigger and right trigger, and everybody's back to full health again. Hooray!
That's really, So, Bali, I don't think this is actually going to be a hard choice now that you've really illuminated how much you hate this game. Mm-hmm. There was another game that came out earlier this year that I talked about in the podcast.
Oh, boy.
That had a very similar kind of Valkyrie Profile style combat system where you've got 4 characters bound to 4 buttons. That game was Super Neptunia RPG. Which I don't think was very good, but I did finish it. And a friend of ours also finished it.
Yep.
So if you had to finish one game, Neptunia or Indivisible,
they're both bad for such like they're both bad in like the opposite ways. It's so weird.
But if you have to choose one,
man, I'm gonna have to go Neptunia because at least I have that character familiarity to latch into. There are probably jokes that I would laugh at.
Yeah, that was like the part of the game I enjoyed was the story and the characters. Like they don't fuck up that part. So after the first couple hours, which are bad.
Oh yeah, like what I played of that game was so far. But yeah, like if that picked up, right? If that got picked up and got better, I could probably at least latch into that. Whereas with Indivisible, I played 10 hours and feel nothing but contempt.
You hid it from your Steam library. There's that. You can actually contact Steam and have them like permanently delete something from your account.
Like I would do that if it wasn't a present.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right, you are more than free to play that game on my account if you want and tell me I'm full of shit. But
no, see, that's the thing. It sounds like there's two levels here of just it's a bad game. Like you don't agree with some of the design decisions, like it being more Metroidvania or the RPG stuff not mattering.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one thing. But then there's the parts that just like sound literally unfinished, like a character having their attacks not work.
Like the character, the writing, the story, it's not done.
Yeah. I think the story might be done though.
Yeah,
so,
the story, like they can patch this game a lot. You're not gonna fix that shitty narrative. You are not gonna fix the first 5 minutes of this game, where a character literally gets over her dad's death in 2 minutes. And the rationale, I've seen people try to jump through hoops to try to fucking rationalize that writing. It's like, oh, well, no, she's just a character that doesn't hold on to a lot of regret. It's like, no, it's just bad writing, you idiot. There's nothing
characterization.
Here. This is not characterization. This is just brain-dead fucking writing. God, I have not hated a game this much in a long fucking time, but I have a burning fucking hatred for this game.
Okay, now that you said that, I've got a new question.
No.
A new zero time dilemma. If you can only save one,
time to decide.
Shot in the head or burned alive.
It's not Neptunia this time. Which of these games would you rather finish with your existing save file? Indivisible or the true ending of Dragon Quest XI? Figured that's about 20 hours for each of them.
I think Indivisible is only like 20 hours total.
I would probably do Dragon Quest because at least it's charming.
Okay, so
Dragon Quest wins just by virtue of being less shitty and having... I at least believe Dragon Quest is what it wants to be. Dragon Quest is in its final form. Whereas Indivisible, I don't get that feeling at all.
Oh.
Gosh.
I don't think I'm... Man. Yeah, okay, yeah. If Beepner's gonna pull it out in chat, we will go with the classic. I think Indivisible is pig AIDS.
I felt kind of like I had to justify to myself not really giving a shit about this game because it's a new contemporary RPG with lots of like cool political stuff. Like it has that, like, again, most of the cast is women and a lot of them are people of color. And that's really cool. A lot of surface level stuff that's like very appealing, and I just didn't give a fuck. Yeah. And I was just like,
why don't I give a fuck? I feel like I should.
And then you had all this, and I was just like, okay, I feel pretty good about my gut there.
This is an RPG made by people that are way better at making fighting games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm not saying stay in your lane because I feel that creativity shouldn't be boxed in like that. But I don't feel that anybody on the team that made this game knows what a good RPG is.
Yeah, that was my thinking. Is just like having this massive Indiegogo campaign, having a 5-year dev cycle, 4 or 5 year dev cycle, and everything. All these expectations when they've never released a story-based game or an RPG. Like, they've just made this fighting game. Like, a little piece of me like feels like that's maybe kind of irresponsible. Like, maybe make a smaller in-house game that you can afford to make,
or
that's focused on the story, or a small-scale RPG.
Hire a writer.
Hire a writer.
Yeah.
Don't just hire like.
Don't just hire a writer to write your goddamn NPC dialogue that you don't want to write. Which is what they did. They hired somebody to write the NPC dialogue, but nothing for the main story.
They hired a guy that I'm actually familiar with from like old insert credit stuff.
Yeah, I know the guy.
He wrote that big long thread, basically saying, "Well, here are all the horrible, horrible challenges I faced having to write for this game because they have 20 million characters. Most of the NPC dialogue is already written by Indiegogo backers, and I had to write around that. Here's what some of the things I did to try to get around that a little bit."
Especially, is this meant to be throwing shade?
No, he was just
and I get that, like,
buy this game.
And I get that he's maybe proud of it, but I'm sorry, no, it's just as bad. I'm sorry.
Also, all the big narrative beats were already set in stone, so it was just this writer like
just being given this weird thing that's just like, here's this thing that's pretty much done, and you have no freedom at all. Go.
The writer will do something.
Is he basically filling in the "this is default text" from RPG
Makers?
He's
basically... I think he was doing actual cutscenes. I'm not sure, but there was some stuff like that.
I think that he handled a lot of this, like all of the story beats, and like in every story beat, all the dialogue changes in the inner world when you talk to the characters there. I think he probably had to do that. And even then, all of that was just like, here's 2 lines of me saying something that's probably funny or like or not consistent with my characterization. Like even then, that writing's not good. I'm sorry. Like, I know a lot of people, like when I mentioned the writing in this game, a lot of people pointed me at that guy as somebody they like, and I'm just like, look, I know.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. It's still bad.
It sounds like this game does not manage tone. Like,
no, it does not. It does not fucking know what tone is.
Where that game manages to be extremely funny, but also serious. Where this starts serious and then tries to get all jokey, and it doesn't work at all.
Yeah, that's basically it. Indivisible's a bad game. Don't play it.
My job was to expand the main character personalities and side quests because it was tough to get all those arcs sorted in the main story. Because there's so much exposition and lore work that you have to do. So we spread it around. Just like, well, we couldn't make the story good, so... Hey, insert credit ruled.
I'm not going to argue with you there. I got nothing against the dude.
Okay.
I got nothing against the dude. I just think all the writing in this game is terrible, no matter who wrote it. If Rhett wrote it, I would have said it's bad.
What that thread read to me like was just like, okay, here's what I had to do. Here's what I had to work on. It feels like it was like...
It felt like somebody gritting their teeth.
It felt a little
definitely,
bit...
It feels like an apology in advance.
Almost, yeah.
Even if that's not what was intended.
No, it's not. It's not. Like hey...
What's that phrase? Yeah.
Ajna was a good challenge because she messes up so much. How do you make that character likable?
You done? Nobody did! Nobody did!
Aww.
Whoops!
Oh,
nope, Ajna's just a terrible character whose motivations change from moment to moment. And she does, and like the next thing she does is more monumentally stupid than the last. Yet she's the chosen one. Fucking yay.
Oh boy, it's a chosen one story
too. Is she
too.
actually a chosen one?
Yeah, it's a chosen one story. It's a revenge chosen one story.
As soon as you said that, I'm like, oh, is that why she gets like 7,000 HP all of a sudden?
Yeah, basically. Like, she gets imbued with the chosen status, and then everybody gets 7,000 more hit points, and the game becomes a joke.
I'm going to link Arafel on the chat, because it's better.
Link Super Neptunia RPG as well. I think it's only fair.
You know what's hilarious is when I go to... I forget, I think it was on the Indivisible page, it says like, oh, similar to games you played, Super Neptunia RPG. I was like, dang, Steam. Dang.
Dang. Yeah, this game's bad. I hate it. Don't play it. There you go.
I have to know because it's not going to cost me anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Give it a shot, but I
also want to wait for them to patch it a bit, you know?
Oh, go, by all means, go right ahead. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Arafel is not a chosen one story. You know that because the writing goes out of its way to point out how she's just a regular girl who wasn't prepared for this. And they really hammer home how subversive they're being with the writing.
And her elemental weaknesses are fire and ice.
John!
Her holy magic is good against the vampire.
Wait.
Lord Nash.
Wait, what?
Lita's holy magic is strong against Lord Nash.
Okay. I guess it is John's turn.
John.
Yeah?
Wait, what else have you done?
Y'all need to fucking play Zero Ranger!
Yeah, we do. You're not wrong.
We do.
That game's...
I thought for sure it would go on sale for its 1-year anniversary, and then it didn't.
Oh my god, it's so good. I got the true end after...
you finally got it.
Nice.
Yep. There's some... I think there's
more
more content.
Sure?
Yeah, I think there's more...
Yeah.
Oh, there's more content, because this is the most generous game ever, but it was an extremely true end, so I'm
okay.
My wrist was starting to act up, so I've been kind of leaning off the shmups for a while.
Yeah.
So I'll explore the additional stuff. But boy, it goes real hard.
We like games that go real hard here on the Sockscast.
Yeah. This is... You just need to play it. It's so much. It's so good.
I'm definitely picking this up soon, so...
Yeah. I will.
Me and Polly are playing a game of chicken with who buys it first.
Yeah, there you go.
I will gift it to one of you. I will go make that purchase right now. Honestly, just as a early Christmas present or something. All right. I really like it.
Yeah, like this is like a game that I know that we're all three just going to key into. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I
game of the decade.
That's true. I made that. That was partially a joke because of like game of the decade list: Ray Force, Reflex, Zero Ranger. There's all the games of the decade. But also, yeah, basically is. It's a. No, I don't need to say anything. I don't want to set up. I feel like I've already robbed you of part of my experience because I've set up all expectations, whereas I went into it not knowing fucking anything about it.
Right.
So,
I love it. I made this joke last time, but that Steam page saying like features 8 colors, including green and orange.
Green and orange.
For the funniest shit.
Yep. Oh boy. I'm excited to. We'll probably want to have a spoiler cast about this.
Wait. What? Danilo Diaz tweeted, Steam added remote co-op so you can play Blazing Chrome 2-player online now. Yeah.
Interesting.
They also did a Halloween update and replaced a whole bunch of the sprites with really funny fucking replacements.
You were so confused by that.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because, see, like, it was like a panda. It was wearing a panda mask, and it was just like, okay, Contra, Rogue Core has a panda. So I was like, did they just put that in to take a shot? I was like, oh, no, it's like a full Halloween update.
And also take a shot, probably.
And also take a shot, yeah, because they're obviously very, very, very keyed into that.
Oh, man. At least you dodged that bullet.
Yeah. I'll have to try that shit. Online co-op. Interesting.
Yeah. I wonder, I know Zero Ranger has co-op. I don't know if there's anything online with that.
I would doubt it.
Yeah, there's the truest end, John, is you have to beat the game as player 2 while keeping player 1 alive. But you have to do it yourself with the hand on each controller.
You know what's really cool though is that the true end sequence. I found an alternate way of beating a boss halfway through the game, and it changes the true end sequence, and that was the time that I won.
What? That's so cool.
So it completely it was like this galaxy brain experience of getting to this trend and having it be a little bit different in this very cool way, and it being the one where I won. I was having a spiritual experience with this fucking video game. Is very, very pretty literally.
Yeah, that's definitely the impression that I've got.
Yeah. So yep, it's very good. Also, and so yeah, I'm happy Blazing Chrome gets to be silver. Contra of the year. That's really. I'm almost done with House of Fata Morgana. I feel like we can talk about that a little bit. It's real good.
Woo! It goes real heavy.
Yep.
It gets crushingly heavy at one point. That's just like, but it's handled really well. Like it.
Oh my god.
That game for me personally goes really deep, and it was a lot of things that hit you really, really hard in a way that's way too fucking real. But it feels good to have that shit hit you. At the same time, it's also handled very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
So man, it's such a good story.
Yeah, that's just and it's divided into a series of sort of complete sub narratives.
Mm-hmm.
Which I really appreciate. I keep playing sections that are just incredible 2 to 3 hour visual novels, basically.
Yeah, they all connect. They all connect.
Great video games.
They're all going to connect in the end, and it's not hard. And it's not hard to go through one of those and then come back a couple of weeks later. You'll still know where the narrative's at.
Yeah. So that's and then the way that it's tying everything together is just absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
God. Yeah, I don't really want to talk about that one either. I want folks to just kind of experience
Yeah,
that one.
I definitely want more people to experience the House in Fata Morgana. It's just, that's a real special visual novel, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so backlogged. I want to play that and Somnium Files.
Yeah, like man,
I don't have enough time.
2019 is stacked.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait a little while on I so I can let the stream memories kind of fade a bit.
Yeah,
since I watched probably 5 to 6 hours on the stream.
I watched literally none just so I could be fresh.
You almost came in at like one of the biggest fucking spoiler moments, and I was just like, "Get the fuck out!"
I came in and like credits had just started rolling. I was like, "Oh, geez."
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really enjoying Fata Morgana. That's basically it for me. Like, I've been swamped at work to the point where, like, there were, like, several days this week where I got home and crawled in bed and then grinded in Fate Grand Order for 3 straight hours.
Oh,
I'm just fucking fried. So, I think I took a day off next week, so I'm thinking I'm gonna start healing. Gonna finish Fata Morgana. It's gonna be really nice. I don't think I'll hold off on we can go over Fate Grand Order in depth once I finish the first season. Once I get to the actually good arcs. Fuck me.
Ooh, boy, yeah.
Could have just been the anime.
They're only adapting the Nasu arcs. They're not adapting the 5 preceding arcs by other authors, by the Fate Apocrypha author.
Are they all connected?
Yeah, there's actual larger story stuff at the end of the London arc, and that was like the first arc that I kind of liked because it had Mordred in it. And she was actually handled well.
I give just enough of a shit about Fate to watch the new anime when it's done, but not enough of a shit to actually like care about continuity. Basically.
Yeah, just don't worry. I'm sure they'll cover it fine. It's almost all of it is completely inconsequential. Like I just got done with the 4th arc, and that was the first time that they had anything like playing into the main story. It's mostly bullshit. The Okeanos chapter is just trash. It doesn't build to anything. They keep throwing new characters in out of nowhere. Like chapter 12 of 14. Here are 3 new characters that are very important to the plot. They're the ones that have the Ark of the Covenant, which is now a plot point. That's what we're actually fighting for. We haven't mentioned it before, but it's all about the Ark of the Covenant now. And final boss. Okay, it's done. And then, I'm rubbing my temples. I hate it. So the London chapter, yeah.
At the very least, it seems like you're getting through these pretty quickly.
Yeah, honestly, the thing that gets me through it, I think it's kind of fun. I kind of like the fighting now.
But do you not have to pay a lot to anything to get through? I haven't paid the time. Because that's where I thought they would get you is like, oh, if you want strong characters, you got to pay all this money. But it doesn't seem like it's like that for some reason.
The gacha seems to be more about getting the specific characters you want. And then a couple of other things like leveling up the craft essences and leveling up the noble phantasms requires getting more copies of those characters that you like. So you can feed like a copy of Saber into Saber to level up her noble phantasm, and that you can only get through the gambling. But just leveling up the characters, just playing the game, that's just good old fashioned grinding.
I just wonder how people are spending thousands of dollars on this game. Like, you beat the story, like what else is there afterwards? Is there an end game?
It's collecting. It's collecting.
It's very strange to me.
It's collecting wifeys, and then you have to feed them like multiple copies of themselves to get certain things leveled up, and then you have to do all this stuff. And I'm just not engaging with it. I looked online. Apparently, there's a big difficulty jump in Camelot, which is the one after the one I'm on now, and it's the first Nasu one.
Oh. Maybe you'll just finish the one you're on and then watch the anime.
No, which would suck because that's the reason I'm playing these is to get to the Nasu ones, which are apparently pretty good because they're the ones they're adapting.
And then they stick the difficulty spikes. Oh, they gotcha.
I googled online and they said like if you're level 60, you can probably get it through. And I'm consistently, and I'm at like level 55 with my characters. And I have, look, here's the secret. Here's the whole secret. Every time you every time you play a mission, you select a support character, which is another real-life player. Scroll down, find a level 100 Jalter. Get them to join your party. Now, if you just pick a random one, then they're not your friend, which means you can't use their Noble Phantasm. But if you just send a friend request to every single level 100 Jalter you play with,
what the fuck?
One of them's going to approve you, and now I've got a level 100 Jalter who just joins me for every single fight.
Oh, okay. So you game the system.
So I figured out the system, and it lets me grind really quickly because I'm basically doing grind missions that are higher than what I should be doing. So like I can do a 3-minute battle and then level up MASH 3 times. Like it's not challenging. So it's honestly not very demanding. And even if you do fail, then you can just spend one of the gamble currencies to basically insta-win the fight. So I'm not very intimidated at this point, and I think I'm going to be able to make it through the good arcs, because Caster Gilgamesh is coming out, which is Gilgamesh without a shirt, and Ishtar is coming up, and I'm excited.
It's Rin without a shirt.
It's Rin without a shirt. So, yeah, you've been linking me clips from the new anime, and it looks like a good time. So I'm gonna read this because Nasu's always better in visual novel form than in anime. Is my general takeaway. Except with Garden of Sinners.
Reading like everything has been undone.
I'm just sleeping the rest of this episode.
Just that praise of Nazu.
Here it comes.
This is much more recent, so it'll be interesting to see if there's any gross shit.
I guess for a mobile game, you'd hope the gross shit is way less.
Yeah, but there can still be like subtly kind of just subtle uglinesses. So I'll see. I'll report back. Don't worry.
We look forward to it.
Excellent.
No, really, I mean it. We really do look forward to it. Boy, you can't. It's just so palpable how excited I am.
This brought me solace when there was nothing else I could do. I got home and I could not play Fata Morgana. I was like, nope. And I laid in bed and I fucking.
This is how we knew you were having.
This is how we knew you were depressed. You were playing Fate again.
Yep. So, getting past it. I can't fucking believe I have to go to work tomorrow. It's fine. It's fine.
Getting over it with John Thayer.
I'll play Fate Grand Order on the bus. I'll play Fate Grand Order during lunch, and I'll probably. And then next weekend I'll finish Fata Morgana. It's fine. That's it. That's everything.
All right.
That's everything I've been up to. It's depressing.
Rhett! Are you depressing?
No.
All right.
Very excited.
Let's hear it.
You play Xenoblade, which sounds like half a gacha game anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The other half is very good, though.
Okay.
Like, I didn't talk about any of the story, the character in the world and stuff, but that's not what right now is for.
Okay.
So we've been following this journey for a little bit. Back in July, I clicked on a YouTube video titled Sockscast XV Episode 1. I didn't know what it was. It was just a guy I subscribed to. I didn't know what the show they were talking about was. For some reason, I skipped like 20 minutes into the video where they started talking about the character outfits. And I just heard the name of this show and a few of the character names. I was like, Symphogear. I've heard of that.
Symphogear.
But like I have no idea what it is. And I looked it up and I was like, wow. They sing while they fight aliens. This sounds like the dumbest shit ever. I've got to watch it. And thus began, this month-long, several months of watching the show and talking about it on the podcast. I believe episode 99 would have been season 1, and then I remember when we did episode 100, Polly was like, okay, this is going to be a big one. You've got to only talk about one thing. And I was like, fuck you, I'm talking about 2. Because Bayonetta 2 and Symphogear Season 2 were both so important to me that I had to talk about both. And they were united in both being really dumb and over the top.
Yes, yeah.
Excellent.
And then I watched Season 3, and then I watched Season 4, so it's been the last episodes 101 and 102. So now here I am, having watched Season 5. Now, when I started this journey, I knew it was on the 5th season, and I had heard rumors of this might be the final season.
Oh.
Turns out, this is the final season.
Oh, anime can actually end now?
So that's the amazing thing, is that, oh god, I don't know where to start on this. So, like, I was totally in for, so, like, when I watched season 1, I was like, this will probably be pretty mediocre, because it has a 7 on my anime list.
Uh-huh.
But, like, if it shows any potential, I'll just keep going, because I'm kind of interested in seeing what it is like by season 5. And then, the ending of season 1 just totally blew me away, and it was like, oh, well, I'm in it now. Like, this was way better than I expected it to be. And then season 2 is amazing, and then season 3 is kind of... And then... So, here's the thing about season 5. It makes the show one singular thing. It ties
oh my God.
everything together
into
one nice little package. It is just... It's amazing that they were able to pull this off.
Mm.
And I've been thinking about how, like, this show is an anime original. And it got 5 seasons and then a proper ending. And I honestly can't think of that, like, ever happening before.
Yeah, like, when is the last time that actually was a thing that
because
happened?
Anime originals in general are just so incredibly rare.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, like, everything that's a manga adaptation now, they used to go the original ending route.
Now they just go like, oh man, let's bait them into another season.
Yeah. And, like, in a few cases, that's totally working. Like, Attack on Titan is going to get to the end.
Yeah.
And, like, it's cool that the entire thing is adapted. And then there's, like, kind of edge cases, like, where Full Metal Alchemist originally did the anime original ending in 2004, and then when they did the new version, they just adapted most of it, because they kind of
shit all over it. Basically, they made a bad version of Full Metal Alchemist.
They made a authentic version, though. Authentic to the manga. So I know that's maybe a weird example.
Yeah,
but like shows like Elfen Lied, like the anime original
ending.
Yeah, I honestly can't think of many shows that started as an anime first. Like they're so exceedingly rare.
Yeah,
like there's always a manga or a light novel or something behind it.
Yeah, that's true. I never even really considered that about Symphogear, is that it is an anime.
Yeah. I didn't even consider that as well. There actually is a manga of season 1 that I think came afterwards. But
like manga adaptations are always going to happen. Like pretty much like any big video game that's come out has a manga adaptation.
Yeah, but it was definitely afterwards. And it makes sense for the show because the whole conceit of the show is the music.
Yeah, yeah.
Which kind of made sense that it had to be anime first, because that would be weird in a manga form.
Yeah,
that would be so weird.
It's a good thing. Like that's why K-On! Is a manga, because it doesn't have it's not about music, even though it says it is. That's why it didn't fucking matter.
I guess you're right, huh?
Wait, K-On! Was a manga first?
Yep. Yeah, it was.
It was a 4-koma. Right. It was a 4-koma manga at that.
Ah, there we go.
So that kind of explains why the music is inconsequential to that show. Because, whatever. I'm getting a little sidetracked here, and this has been a fairly long episode. So Symphogear Season 5 is really, really fucking good, and it ties everything together, so much that it's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because this show is about redemption arcs and, redeeming villains. And then the Season 5 itself feels like a redemption of Season 3.
Oh, weird.
Where it's like, oh, it all matters now. It all comes full circle. And, this show is wild. The way they will have... There's an event in Season 2 that gets referenced again in Season 4 as, oh, by the way, this happened then, and it was super important. And then it becomes, a huge plot thread in Season 5. I feel like the closest thing I've ever watched to before this was probably Sailor Moon. Where it's 5 seasons long and a magical girl thing.
Yeah.
But the seasons that all felt fairly disconnected from each other story wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They kind of put a bow on every one of them and then moved on, and the status quo didn't really change that much.
Mm-hmm.
Besides adding a few new characters. Whereas in this show, I can't just say skip Season 3 because you will be so confused by a lot of Season 5 if you haven't watched it. And it's just really good. And I just can't believe they pulled this off, really. And
That's really cool.
Up until this point, like the first 4 seasons were kind of these individual stories.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was kind of, you could see where they were building to something in season 4, and then I think they totally landed it. So basically, so my experience watching the show is like after we did the last podcast, I was like, okay, I talked about season 4. It's like, okay, time for season 5. And I think by Monday afternoon, I watched 6 episodes already.
Jeez.
And was like, that's half the season already. Shit, I'm gonna run out. And also, I was watching this like before the finale had ended. So no matter what, I actually had to wait for Saturday for episode 13. So throughout the course of the week, I was just like, well, guess I'll just rewatch those 6 episodes again. And so during that week, kind of waiting for the finale and waiting for, a larger chunk of free time to blast through the rest of it, I felt something inside me click over into where I wasn't just a fan of Symphogear anymore. I was a super fan.
You were like a diehard stan.
Yeah, I clicked into that level of super fandom that I haven't hit with anything in like...
Since Higurashi, maybe? Umineko?
One of those. Like, maybe Neptunia is probably the most recent one. Yeah,
Neptunia is probably the most recent.
And that has endured, but I don't think that ever burned as intensely as this did for a bit.
Right.
Like, I asked you, do you mind if I share what I asked you in the DMs? I asked you...
just read the whole thing.
I just told... Okay, you keep talking, I'll bring it up.
The point I realized when I had hit super fandom is when I went onto a certain website that is usually for pornography doujins, and I went to the non-H section and read all of the translated English ones. Just these very cute doujins about, the characters in this show. I was like, man, I'm reading English translated non-porn doujins. That hasn't happened since Toho.
Wow.
All right, here's the exchange. I asked you, all right, you're in a zero-time dilemma jigsaw trap. You can either save Symphogear or Neptunia, but not both.
Oh,
go.
Shit.
And then Rhett says, what is the condition? The one I don't save never gets any more media released? And I sense what you're doing there, because you don't think Neptunia is good anymore anyway.
Oh. No, actually, okay, here's the good stuff.
Yeah?
The answer would have been the same because Symphogear already ended.
True.
I'm comfortable with there not being more.
Oh, okay. Because I said, no, the whole thing dies. Previously released media is erased from existence. And you said, Jesus. And then you said, and this is the most beautiful response I have ever read in my life.
Oh, no.
This is like a heroic, you are embodying a heroic spirit, Rhett. And it said, save Neptunia. Because it's meant a lot to other friends like Chelsea and Polly. Whereas only I will lament the loss of Symphogear.
Wow.
Which is true. I do feel like Neptunia has had
Look at this sweetheart over
impact.
here. Look at this sweet heart over here.
It was so sweet.
Oh my god.
Losing Neptunia would be a weird shift in our friend circle, though.
Oh god, yeah.
Whereas Symphogear is something I didn't know existed until this July.
Just a few months ago.
Iffy's Avatar and
her Iffy's name.
Her name just get erased.
Just poof. Gone.
That was very noble, Rhett.
So I'm in this fandom. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm in this super fandom mode though, waiting for the finale, and then I downloaded some of the music, and I've been listening to it at work. And I'm getting a weird sense of nostalgia from the season 1 opening. It's so weird. It feels so long ago, like having gone through this whole journey.
It's been 3 months.
And now, so anyways, I'll cut this a bit. So I think I watched 2 more episodes.
You don't have to.
I know.
Go ahead, just keep going.
We get to Friday night, and I watch 2 more episodes, and then I rewatch them. And then I barrel through the last 4 episodes of the show. And the thought I had with that was that this is the best piece of media I've consumed since Undertale.
Wow!
And then I backed it off a bit. I was like, well, Neptunia was real good too.
Oh, that's so fun.
Look, there's a lot of good Neptunia too.
Yeah. 3 and Mega Nep are real good.
Yeah.
But like...
I feel so bad because I started season 2. I watched 3 episodes and I was just like, oh man, I really wasn't ready for more of this. Just like almost completely bouncing off.
Man, all you gotta do to get me to watch this is just open it up in a MIDI player. Replace all the music with like death grips and shit. That's all you gotta do. I'm sure it'll work fine. I mean, look, you got the zombie singing show has a rap battle, so it'll work here.
The rap battle in that show is part of how it tricks you into thinking it's not an idol show, and then it is.
Yeah.
It starts with the first concert in that show is metal, and then the second one is rap, and I'm like, oh, they're going to do a different thing each episode.
But
no! And then it's all idol after that. It's like, Oh my god, the finale of the show, though, it goes real hard. And then, so I was super excited to talk about this on the podcast.
Yeah?
And then John, I've got to do work. We can't do next Sunday.
Yeah.
So I had
time to think about it.
So I had to delay talking about Symphogear for another week, which honestly hurt a little bit. Not that it was your fault, obviously, but like shit gets in the way. And so things started to cool down. So you know what I did today?
Well, you watched more Symphogear?
I watched the last 4 episodes again. And I was still sobbing through like the last 2 of them.
Oh my god.
It's still real good.
It's good, Rhett.
The show is a triumph.
Yeah.
This show is so perfectly tuned to my aesthetic.
Like, it is the most Rhett thing anything has ever been.
You think that, and then you watch it and you go, wow, it's even more. It's 110%.
So it sounds like your number 1 anime of the decade is already sorted.
God, I don't even... That's such a weird thing to think about, because, like, I thought when I was going to do that list, I was going to do like, oh, here's what are the important shows, and put stuff like Shinseki Yori and Girls Last Tour on there.
Right.
But this is probably my favorite.
Yeah, I think that's probably a shoo-in. Because we are going to do those episodes after the new year. We are going to do Game of the Decade and Anime of the Decade.
Cool.
So
I'm excited.
Prepare for those. I know John likes lists, so I'm primarily doing these for his benefit.
Lists.
So.
I love lists.
So wait, we're going to do Game of the Decade on the podcast?
Yep.
Oh,
in addition to Game of the Year, right?
We're doing Game of the Year as well.
Yes. Yeah. Double lists.
I haven't even started thinking about Game of the Decade.
Well, Game of the Decade is going to be next year, though. We're going to do that like January or February. So
I was thinking we might do an SMPS list again, because it's been a while for one of those.
Yeah, it has.
Oh, that would be sweet.
And the forums are back, so that's a good
the forums
start.
are back, so makes things a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's one... Yeah, go ahead.
I stand Symphogear real hard is basically what I'm saying. Like, it's, you know how you were saying how like you feel like you're maybe overhyping Zero Ranger a bit?
Uh-huh.
Boy, do I feel like I may be doing that a bit here, because I realize, like, because this is so like
it's fine-tuned to it resonates with you.
Pointed towards my taste, and I've been yelling about it on Twitter for like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And have been getting a few people to say they'll check it out eventually. It's like, oh man. And then boy,
that's what happens every time. That's what happens every time I say I like music, and then people are like, "Oh, I'll go listen to it too," and I'm like, "Oh, great."
Yeah, and then it's like now it's a burden on you.
Yeah, because like now I know, like, oh, great, I just wasted somebody's fucking time.
Yeah,
I mean that's where I'm gonna be at. I've had a nice time with the first season. If I don't vibe with season 2 to the point where I want to continue, I'm not going to force myself. It won't be a burden on you, basically.
Yeah, he'd rather force himself through Sword Art Online. I mean, there's more to get out of that. More meat on the bone.
I will say, though, if you aren't like 100% done after season 2, or like 100% in, because like I feel like the arc of seasons 3, 4, and 5 is a little more connected than the first 2. Like, season 2 almost ends with the finale, basically. Season 2 actually might go the hardest in a weird way. It kind of set expectations a little high for the others.
Well, that sounds like 15, like XV really brought it back around. 15.
Yeah.
Really brought it back around.
I have no idea why the seasons are named what they are.
G means 2. After 5 says, I got John into Y Schwartz. I bought a Y Schwartz deck. I haven't gotten to the... I keep being really tired on Friday and then not going to the little local tourney. So I haven't...
Play with After 5 on stream.
I could do that.
You could do
and
that.
use the Symphogear set.
Use the
I already have
Symphogear.
my Fate Zero set.
Ugh.
There you go.
There's one more. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, what were you going to say?
I just remembered I didn't touch Fate Grand Order for like 6 months. I loaded it up. I immediately got like 100 summon currency.
Oh, right.
And then the very first summon I did, I got a 5-star Saber.
Man, I feel that's just rigged to work like that, though.
Yeah,
if you're gone for 6 months.
It felt suspicious to me.
Yeah.
I bet everybody who plays Xenoblade 2 a year ago should go load it up and fucking roll Cosmos right now.
Cosmos.
Well, how do you say it?
Cosmos.
I don't know. I tried to...
Cosmos.
Hey, Rhett, I
split the
played
difference.
3 fucking games with with her being a character in them and people saying
With the
her
dub.
name a lot. I know what I'm talking about.
It's Cosmos?
Cosmos.
Okay. John said Cosmos, and I was like, no.
No, I said that as a joke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyways,
Cosmos.
Cosmos.
whatever.
character. Her name's Cosmos. She's a robot. She's got blue hair. She has big boobs.
So the last thing I'll say is that... So I've entered the hell of being a super fan of something that just ended,
Yep.
and that has not had any sort of English fan base until now.
Yeah.
I am just like trolling every anime forum I can find to be like, are the Symphogear fans here? Are you here? There's like 2 of you? No, this isn't it. Like looking at like the one post a day for our Symphogear on Reddit. Like it's a fucking desert out there. But I will say I found some very wholesome Twitter posts, and like the people that are fans of this show seem to be like really enthusiastic about it. Like this is absolutely a you love it or hate it show.
Yeah.
I saw a girl say that Chris made her realize she was gay.
Aww. That's always very sweet.
Yes. Find yourself in your media. Sometimes it happens.
So I like Symphogear.
You like
That's
Symphogear?
Yeah.
Do you?
And
Just making sure.
I like Miku.
Miku's very good.
Miku's very good. There's more. Season 2 did start, and there was immediately a Scythe girl.
I told
funny.
you.
Yep.
The funny thing, so like the show definitively ends, but they, they could always weasel out of pretty much anything.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, I'm like, oh, but what if they did a movie?
They're
Just
going
do
to.
one more.
They're going
I don't
to.
know. I don't know. I feel like they have said it's the end. They do a really classy thing at the end where they show like the main characters and say like the voice actor's name and stuff. And like,
Aww.
yeah, like it ends.
That's
but
good.
but they could do more.
Mm.
And like, there's going to be live Symphogear concerts next year in Japan. It's like they may announce something. We'll see.
Yeah.
Like apparently this
just
is like,
don't see this thing going away.
I think maybe the most likely thing is that they do a sequel with the new cast and like a second generation thing,
Yeah.
which wouldn't be as interesting to me. But
Symphogear Future.
the funny thing about the show is that it already takes place way in the future.
Symphogear 2, Goodbye Despair.
Apparently it takes place in like 2042, but they never say that until season 5. Like no one had any idea.
No one.
The entire
We
time.
finally committed to a time frame.
All this lore that's just like, oh shit, seat of our pants. Like the whole first season is like that. Just like, oh yeah, this is
The
some big...
funny thing is, I think they genuinely care about the lore and like they find ways to not make it feel. I mean, I guess season 1 is pretty seat of the pants in execute. Like, there's a lot of it hidden in like side materials and stuff, and like there's that whole thing about actually, character had tragic backstory that we just didn't have time to actually put into the show until we bring it up abruptly at one point. Like, it's a good show, but it is messy in funny ways.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's it.
That's it.
I'm sorry, I forgot the point I was making there, is where I think they could make a movie, but then I'm like in that super fandom part where it's like, I have an idea for exactly what the movie would be. So if they do a movie and then it's not that idea, I would be like, oh.
Life is good.
And Rhett's putting in his application for director of the Symphogear movie.
Just so you know, Rhett, every step of this has been a blast to watch. I've really been enjoying the joy.
I like it when people like
you've
things.
You've been enjoying the joy, but apparently you didn't enjoy the season 2 so far.
I haven't. I'm not sure if I really like the show, but I'm really enjoying your joy, and I want you to keep living in it. I like it
when people like things. Like, it's fine, except Indivisible. Don't like that. Don't like that, please. But if you like other things, awesome. Like the things that make you happy.
Me right from the start, because with that new enemy crew and
you know what? I could probably make an exception for Rogue Core too. Don't like Rogue Core. No, just don't.
John, I swear, if you watch a little bit more of season 5, I think, or season 2, I think
it picks up. Jump to 5.
Yeah, I'm not dropping. I'm not dropping. I'm gonna wrap it up.
But I realized you had shitty work week and other things on your plate, and apparently had to play a lot of Fate.
Did have to play a lot of Fate. That was a spiritual need. I have a friend who sent me their RPG to beta test, and I just realized I blew that off for a week, and I feel awful about it. So, different friend.
Was it a friend who was on this podcast earlier?
No, different friend. Okay. So I'm just like, oh man, wow, I've been out of it.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's a podcast.
All right, then we are going to go ahead and start wrapping things up. Of course, want to thank everybody for tuning in, giving us a download, coming out for the stream. Y'all have been wonderful. As always, we always appreciate you coming out and giving us a watch. We also, of course, appreciate the bits and the subs. Very much appreciated as well. John Thayer, where can our lovely internet peoples find you?
farawaytimes.itch.io.
And Rhett, where can the lovely internet people find you?
I'd post my Mario Maker ID here, but I forgot it. And I haven't made any levels in a while. And they nerfed all the cool shit.
Yeah, they did. It looked real shitty.
So it goes. Everything's transient. Everything good in the world is transient and goes away. Really?
Thanks to games being online, and they are now.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe Indivisible will be good one day.
I mean, like, man, when I think about that game, it's just like, I wonder if they're approaching it the same way they approach the fighting game. You're like, oh, we can just make it better over the course of 3 years. What? Turns out you can't do that with an RPG. It kind of is shitty.
I do feel like, anecdotally, see no buzz about that game, which is weird for a Kickstarter game that had a 5-year dev cycle. Like, everyone knows about it and no one seems to care.
Yeah. Not seeing a lot of people talk about it.
I see like big personalities tweeting about it, like Patrick Klepek or whatnot.
Well, it's because they got it for free and they're going to talk about it.
I feel like people I don't care about really like it, and then people that I do don't.
I just had, so when Polly compared it to a fighting game, I just had the thought of Indivisible Season 2 and just laughed.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did a Season 2 and it's just like, here's more dumb characters to recruit that you don't want.
Here's more non-story.
Here's more things to engage with this awful battle system that we didn't really think out.
I think we both had an experience. Like, me doing that Fate Grand Order arc, the really bad one, and you playing that, we were just like, this is a professional product.
I don't understand. How did people pay $40 for this?
How did this make $1 billion?
Don't worry, Polly, you didn't pay for it.
At least I didn't. It was Rhett's money.
All right. Let me know if you want me to gift you Zero Ranger.
There you go.
All
right. Thanks everybody for coming out, and remember, we are the podcast that loves you. We're the only ones that love you. All right. That is the show, everyone. I'm gonna find somebody to drop y'all on off over to real quick. See who's streaming, and then we will be calling it a night. But thanks again for coming out. Y'all are lovely. We very much appreciate it. My friend Virus Returns is streaming. He's playing Super Mario Brothers 3. So let's go over there and let's say hi to him. And we will catch you folks next time, which will be either 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how much I get to play of Cold Steel 3. Later, everybody.